take it away and just never stop the actual ball carrier. And this guy was running, he was like a runaway freight train, just running downhill. So that was disappointing. Again, we have an incredibly prideful group. So there are times in that game when you're watching the tape and you want to throw up, particularly because it's some of the guys that were making some of the errors. It was unlike them. So the beauty is we have an opportunity to correct it. We had no time to hang our heads and to walk around like we're at a wake, right? And I thought the guys yesterday at practice did just that. They attacked their daily routine and what they were trying to do, and just went out there and attacked the field and tried to get better. So hopefully we see the results of that this week.
All right, hey, welcome Football Friday, Panther Friday. Man, we got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning. We say good morning, and wow. You know what? It's one of the reasons we watch sports, because a lot of us, especially if you gamble or you don't gamble, doesn't matter. I don't gamble. You watch a game and you're going in the back of your mind, well, I'll be turning this off early because right now the Giants suck. We're just so used to saying a handful of teams, the Giants suck. Last night, they beat the Eagles, and they beat them pretty good, 34-17. Led by two rookies. How about that? Led by a quarterback and a running back, and beat them up. All of a sudden, the Eagles, who are feeling real good, although running game hasn't looked the same, probably lost some key guys that they would love to have because they couldn't afford to keep everybody. Matter of fact, the New England Patriots would like to thank you for that. But, man, Giants playing better. We're playing a lot better. 34-17 upset. Woody, we won't get a bigger upset than that, because I thought even if the Giants played their best, and now their number one receiver is out, and I'm like, oh, they're done. There's no way. There's no way. Who's he going to throw to? You know, they always seem to struggle on the offense. They last night looked great. 34-17 upset. Just to kind of tease you as we get set with a lot of other news, and you heard the other news, the Panthers make it 2-0. Again, man, play that same system, play hard. You're on that team. You've won so much the last 3 years. You just expect to win, man. You just expect to win. That winning thing is a disease, and that losing thing is a disease. Here we go again. Disease is always a bad one. In a tight game, outplay somebody for a little while, and you don't run away with, and they come back, and you're going, oh, boy, here we go again. And all of a sudden, they start making all the plays, and you've got negative thoughts in your head. Then you got a team like the Panthers. They just expect to win. 1-1, 2-2. Doesn't matter. Night before, first game 2-2. Last night 1-1. We'll come back and get it. We'll come back and get it. Brad Marchand made sure of it. Big Bob, solid. And they come right out and getting a lot of shots. Big Bob's been good. Hasn't really had to save a lot of shots. Playing great defense behind him. So a lot of good things. Paul Maurice will join us later in the show. Nice enough to always come on with us, and we'll talk to him. By the way, getting into, and as you know, Chargers and the Miami Dolphins, I got to say this. I said it every week. I no longer will come out and say, I think this is the week the Dolphins put it together. I'm done with that. I won't. I got to see it to believe it. But I got to tell you, man, part of this game is matchups. It's not just the name on the jersey, because right now you know how bad the Ravens have been. And if you got to play the Ravens, which the Dolphins do, you want to play them right friggin' now with all these guys out. And I got to tell you, Justin Herbert has 4, maybe 5 of his offensive linemen out for this game. In some cases, most of it tackles. You have to get after them. Now, they're going to move guards to tackle. They're going to be moving guys all over. Practice squad guys are adding more guys to the roster to get to their 8 with a bunch of injuries. Most likely both the one tackle's out. Slater's out for sure on one side. Alt's probably out on the other. He hasn't practiced. He's got a high ankle sprain, missed last game as well. So you've got a real good time. I'm not saying they're banged up a lot of other positions, but at offensive line, and of course they've lost their top two running backs, although a little easier replaced our running backs than those big fellas up front. But man, if there's a week, and we just heard, the reason I bring it up, Anthony Weaver spoke yesterday, and hey, listen, man, we heard about how bad the tackling was. Every national guy hit that was some of the worst tackling, and the coach came out and said, hey, part of this is we're trying to strip the ball instead of tackling guys. We got to stop stripping guys. Anytime you strip a guy and you're trying to get it out of his hands, arms, big strong dude's going to run for another 4 or 5 yards or break off all these runs. And it's all stuff that, so the coaching staff is big on everything is fixable on this team. And by the way, that should be their message. I didn't expect them to go, we are in big trouble the rest of the year, folks. You're not going to get a coach to say that. They're going to keep playing these young guys. And so yesterday, Woody, by the way, I heard some of the show going in to get my colonoscopy yesterday, early in the morning, my third one. Big veteran at the colonoscopy, getting that third one yesterday. But I want to get into this a little bit for players. And I heard you were going after pretty good with the Tua sound yesterday, and everything about no matter what, I'm going home and be with my family, and I let it go, and all the things that he says, and hang with my wife, and my kids love me no matter what. And so, and I get it. I do understand that it does drive some people completely nuts, and players do certain things after games that piss me off. I've been very open about guys taking selfies, and after we get our ass kicked, and Ryan Tannehill and his wife sending out pictures together in the car, smiling and hugging each other. Like, why don't you just do that at home and not send that out to your fan base? That was kind of my message, and really turned me off on Ryan Tannehill, besides some of the bad games he had. But I will go back to this every time, and it's the way it is. It's especially the way it is now that the salaries have exploded. Top picks and players that get that second contract to be some of the top paid players in their positions, life changes. Congratulations, you got the money. Hey, man, you earned it. And nobody ever going to hate. Nobody ever going to hate on somebody getting money, especially if they're really good. Or being a first-round pick. It's an honor. Being a first-round pick is cool. Like getting up there now more than ever, being a first-round pick in any sport, but especially in the NFL, because it's such a big deal, because the sport is so popular, is really cool. But I got to tell you, no matter what, and Coach Weaver talked about this, and hey, man, the heat is now starting to pick up on Kenneth Grant. And fair or not, and I don't think whatever happens in the first 5 games is going to be his career. I hope you're smarter than that to not say this guy's going to be a bust, he's done, because then you're not really thinking this thing out either. You got to play more than 5 games before you decide if somebody can play or not. But you want to see guys making plays, and if they don't, and your TV eyeballs, or you're in person, and you keep seeing a guy run at a certain area, and you see 090 getting pushed aside one way or the other, or straight back, and you're going, that's our first-round pick. I get it, because first-round picks get big, life-changing signing bonuses before they ever play. Tua, that's the second tier of guy. When you become a frontline quarterback, fair or not, and you get franchise quarterback money, and he did. He got thrown into the party with a whole bunch of, well, I don't say a whole bunch, maybe 10. What do you have in look? Maybe 10 guys hit the 50-plus now party. Not sure exactly what the number is. Some have hit lower now, and this is average, and a lot of the money he already got. I'm throwing average in, and I know Omar likes to throw, and it's actually 42, but some of that money he got up front was mixed into the number that everybody comes out with on average. Look at, man, when you get paid that money, fair or not, no matter what's around you, you're going to probably take more heat than anybody else if you're not winning games. It's just the way it is. It's not personal against Tannehill. It's not personal against Tua. It's not personal against Kenneth Grant. It's just you had chances in the end of the fourth quarter to make plays and lead your team. And again, people going, oh, but that's not fair. This guy broke down and the O-lineman broke down on that. It's happening everywhere, man. The breakdowns of offensive linemen are breaking down everywhere. Some guys are able to keep plays alive. Hey, by the way, sometimes, including this guy, Justin Herbert. Nobody's going to want to hear about Justin Herbert's 4 or 5 guys out this week. Whatever the final number is going to be, they're coming in today. And nobody's going to go, poor Justin Herbert. Man, I got to tell you, it's not fair to him. He got paid. He joined the big club too, man. And it's the way the fans and the media are going to look at you, and no matter what and by the way, I'm glad Coach Weaver said, hey, man, don't listen to the noise. And by the way, any guy that's there's no way if you do any dabble of any little bit of social media, or if you have family, it's impossible for your whole family and people around you that you care about not to give you updates on what everybody's saying about you in the media, the local media. Hey, I know one thing. They hear everything Omar Kelly says. Everything Omar Kelly. They are affected. I'm stroking Omar Kelly. They hear everything Omar Kelly says. I know that. Not from him. I know that for other things, that other side of it that I've heard.
Which, by the way, is not a good thing.
No, but
they shouldn't be listening to what Omar has to say.
Well, he's on social media, and he's on their highway, a platform highway.
But I'd rather that than guys come out and say, I don't hear any of it. Doesn't bother me. I just go home.
Well, first of all, if you think he doesn't hear anything, it's a bunch of, you know what? You're ready to push the button.
I know you're going to. So you want to hear from him? I want to get
you riled up. I don't want to hear it.
Can I get you riled up this morning?
I don't want to hear it. You beat it up hard yesterday. I really don't want to hear it.
I would say it hasn't been as difficult this year, just because, as I've said in prior interviews, I'm not on social media. Like, I don't have any of that. And then outside of that, like, I go home, I see my kids, whether I throw 5 picks or 5 touchdowns, we win the game, we lose the game, I get to come home to my kids who are happy to see me every time.
I get it, man.
Do you?
I get it. No, I'm used to it.
You say it's easier this time around? I'm glad it's easier, man.
Like he said, he's cutting out noise, which, by the way, I don't believe, because he turns around, I hear two of his quarterbacks from his draft class are dating hotties, and he knows that.
He did know that, yeah.
So apparently, was he pick and chooses? A little TMZ in there, or maybe a buddy told him, hey, a couple guys in your draft class are dating some hotties if you want to take a look at them. Of course,
his press conferences have become train wrecks.
No, they are.
They are just absolute train wrecks.
And by the way,
you don't want fans thinking you care more than the quarterback does.
Save him from himself. I agree. But
fans should be pissed off when they hear that stuff, man. We got fans that are stewing over these losses, that are calling post-game shows, that are angry.
Well, we need thank God they do. Keep us in business.
Yeah, but Tua's at home playing with his kids. You care more than he does, apparently.
Hey, man. I mean, reality is that you do have to let it go. Like, you can't sit around and let it bother you.
No, I know.
But
just get up to the podium for the 10 minutes a week that you speak publicly because you're a recluse and you don't, get out and do anything. For those 10 minutes, just act like you care.
Yeah.
Just at least let me believe that you care about what's going on.
So I would say, like I say to you sometimes, he's an introvert.
I understand that. But he's also the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
I get it. Hey, listen, man. He says
that's what you signed up for, man.
He gets going on his press conferences, and then he says something. I see guys are really hitting him hard. Somebody's on the show me the money thing, which, again, like walks out, and instead of saying, hey, thank everybody, I'm so glad I'm going to be here and stuff, he comes running out saying, show me the money. And I was like, you're like, ooh, you got the money? Ooh, hey, not hating. Nobody forced that team to give you the money. You got it. Ooh, though, on that comment. Ooh. And he is sometimes I wonder about things that he says. Yeah, there is no doubt about it.
And then to add to it, man, like I don't know how much.
But
that
you know what I care? I want to see him play front line.
Yeah,
Sunday at 1 o'clock,
which he's not capable of doing. But if you watch that game last night,
I know, but you're going
that quarterback, that rookie quarterback on the New York Giants. That's the kind of personality you want in a quarterback.
I get it.
That's a dude.
By the way, right off the bat, listen to you just went, dude.
Is he not?
Hey,
that's the kind of guy you want playing quarterback for your team.
I just want to tell you this. First of all, what I'm seeing in this league, another quarterback runs for 50 yards last night, takes off, and things break down because you're going to get pressure, takes off and runs 20 yards for a touchdown.
Do you see how his teammates respond to him, though?
Yes.
It's just the whole thing just feels different.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of things, but
those guys don't rally around Tua.
They just I got to tell you, man, I don't think he'd really, if everybody's to be honest, and we didn't have players like doing the fake, he's our guy and all that stuff, because I think there is some of that about how but look at, man, I don't think he's one of those guys going to go out and grab a beer with the guys. I don't think he's not my guy. My guy, besides his talent, if my guy said we're going out, we're going out. Don Strock said we're going out, we're going out. Different guys. Now, Bob Greasy wasn't that way. Bob Greasy was all business. And if you're really good and you're getting it done, you get respect that way too. He's a little different, but he's our different dude, and he's good. You go along with it. Because you're going to get some guys that are different. But you cannot be getting it done and weeing everybody like he was doing there for a while. Looks like he's kind of done with that wee thing. Anyway, hey, this is a week to get healthy, man. This is a week to get healthy and get some things done. Woody, you're going to have to let it go, though. Seriously, we're getting close to game time, and you're still beating that thing up. Like, he's going to say things. He's going to say things that give us material for this show.
Well, just make sure you don't take it too hard if they lose on Sunday, okay? You get out of that stadium and you go home, and
I'm all right. I'm all right after a couple
of days. Family and
I
say after a couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to be okay.
I said
you could stew on the drive home, but after that, man, it's over. I mean, you let it go.
Is this for me or him you're talking right now?
No, for you, for both of you guys, but especially you.
Well, listen,
because you dwell on the losses. They kill you.
I do for a couple of days, but then I'm fine.
And your guys too, man.
Oh,
I know everyone seems to hurt around you.
All right, man, we got to go to break.
Where's the Mayor Milpitas? Doesn't it bother him?
Yeah, he takes him real hard. Did you hear him on the question?
Yeah, I heard him on the question.
He was waiting for somebody to give him some kind of attitude so he could snap on a head coach and a quarterback. Hey, right now I want to tell you about Baptist Health South Florida, man. I want to talk about some good news here. Let it go there. Let it go, everybody. We got another game coming up. Here we go again. Let's see if we can figure it out. Put together a complete game. Just like when you go to Baptist Health South Florida, you're getting the complete great treatment every time you're in there. What a sports medicine program they have put together. Where do the pros go? Inter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins. They've been busy. Boy, those doctors have been busy. Sure is nice to have top specialists, though, and great team doctors. Great team doctors, man. Knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand, back, hip, and knee replacement. I'm talking about some of the top specialists in the business working together, cover Dade and Broward, not just our teams, but all of us, man. The next time you get injured and you want to go to a great facility and see great doctors, boy, Baptist Health South Florida's put together a special program, including their new facility on 595 and Pine Island in Plantation. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day. One goal every day. It's about getting you back healthy, playing the sports you love the most. Welcome back. Good morning to everybody. It's great to be back. Took a colonoscopy day yesterday. Woody, it's actually the actual procedure's not bad. It's not the first time I've had it. It's the day before. You can't eat. And then on top of that, you start taking that stuff to empty your stomach. Oh, Lord. That's a rough, including, I mean, late night, early morning, and you are rocking and rolling. And get it done. Get it done, man. If you haven't had it done, man, take care of it. It is a silent killer, is a message from yours truly this morning as a veteran of now officially 3 of them. All right. Hey, we've got all kinds of good stuff going on. Got a lot of local stories. Hey, by the way, top college football game this week, Fernando Mendoza at Oregon, Indiana and Oregon. It was interesting, Woody. I saw yesterday, a lot of people think those are the top 2 quarterbacks, Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. Did you hear what I heard yesterday, too, on ESPN? A lot of people think Fernando Mendoza is the best quarterback in the upcoming draft. Now, I don't know. Lot of football to be played and everything else, but Columbus High School, Dr. Mendoza down here, man, congratulations. What a great start. Sad to see you leave Cal, but I understand. I do understand, and get a chance to play. So we'll all get together and sit back and watch that game tomorrow to just see what it looks like. Indiana 5-0 going to Oregon, who a lot of people think has one of the 3 or 4 best teams in college football right now. The other story, oh my God, I know everybody's talking about it because it just got talked out yesterday. It is one of the strangest stories. I keep trying to get a picture of Don Shula being told he couldn't coach in the NFL anymore, and he wasn't done in his 70s, because I believe I think he was done. I don't know what the age coach was when he finally finished, but going, I'm not done. I'm going to take a job in college. If none of you guys want me, I'm going to friggin' college. And then all of a sudden, marrying a girl 50 years younger and seeing Coach Shula on the sand spinning his girl in their bathing suits. Oh, God. This Belichick stuff. So by the way, just tell me this doesn't sound like Urban Meyer. Belichick has a bye week before they play Cal at Berkeley next week. So he took a few days off with his girl, took a vacation. I don't know. Maybe I've been around Mario Cristobal too much. I can tell you what Mario Cristobal did on a bye week, because he just came off one and had another one. I can tell you Mario Cristobal did not grab the wife and head down to Key West for 3 days to do a little drinking. And he didn't go over to Naples to stay in a suite and hang out with his wife and chase her around. I know Mario Cristobal is already worried about making sure the team's together, making sure the recruiting classes for the junior and senior classes are staying strong, making visits. He was not chasing some 24-year-old girl around. I know that about Mario Cristobal. I've never heard of that. Remember Urban? I had never heard about that. Thursday night football, Urban goes, hey, you guys got a few days off. Take care. Have a good trip. And he doesn't jump back on the plane with his team.
Well, he had a young lady involved, too, it looks like.
He did. Remember that?
He was grabbing ass at a bar, right?
By the way, and you just get busted. They got that close-up of his hand on her ass. And the wife, I don't know how, I can't speak for all of you out there. I can only speak for the marriage I'm in right now, relationship I'm in.
She's been good to him, though, that Herb's wife.
She's covered for him.
She covered up the stuff with him at Ohio State. Yeah.
She covered up, blatantly lied for him. No, hey,
a lot of people got their lives ruined by that. That was pretty good.
So Herb, but I got to tell you, man.
No, he's got quite a track record, Herb.
Bill,
this story is fantastic.
And by the way, Michael Lombardi, shame on you too, man. You just look like a dodo bird. They
started digging up his old tweets. I guess in like 2023, he ripped Mario, and they were just digging up his old stuff, man.
Yeah.
What a loser.
So now that Michael's back in the game, hey, I wouldn't be talking about anybody when you come back out because you won't be in the game very long. And by the way, this is starting to look like a one and done. I don't think he'd quit.
He might not even make it through the year from what they were saying. They said they were trying to figure out a buyout, and then they come out, no, I'm fully committed.
I'd like to hear something a little stronger by Bill saying, no, I'm here. Because look at, man, they got a good recruiting class that they've got. They're only verbal commitments, but they got a good little recruiting class. I think it's right at 20 right now.
Well, they got a lot of money they're pumping into that thing.
But I got to tell you, man, there's a lot of people, or they don't have to do much, but this negative recruiting against your guys is easy. When the guys are recruiting you and your coach, you're hearing all this is chasing this young girl around somewhere on a beach somewhere. And these other coaches are calling your guys every day saying, man, we want you. And you got Michael Lombardi sitting there. What's he going to do? The general manager. By the way, Lombardi's got his kid on the coaching staff. Belichick's got his 2 kids. We don't need our dads. We're good. We're good. We know what's going on here.
It's such a weird situation.
It is,
though, man. It really
is. Weird one.
So Belichick, it just seems
the players hear this every day. They're hearing this, all this drama stuff.
I don't know why anybody would want to play there, for him.
I get it.
But
that whole Bill Belichick, one of the winningest coaches, and if you believe he's the greatest NFL coach of all time, okay. It's a bad look, though, because it's not doing anything for these 17, 18, 19, and 20-year-olds that either got to make a decision on what they're doing. And by the way, 1-year free agent, if you're a good player and you're playing at North Carolina, you happen to be one of the few good players. They're so poorly coached right now. Those highlights in that Clemson game, guys being that open all over the place. It's like, hey, Bill, maybe you ought to spend a little bit more time. One thing you used to be able to do is figure things out defensively, and it doesn't look like you're doing a very good job. Not at all.
Just probably thought that this would go much differently, right? It'd be a whole heck of a lot easier to go in there, bring your NFL coaches with you, throw some money at this thing. You have one good year. And then the pros will come calling, right?
I don't think he went all in on this thing when he did it.
I'm guessing he thought it was going to be really easy.
I think he
surround yourself with some decent people.
There's no way,
money at it.
No way somebody's going to sell me as hard as he worked at it with the Patriots, especially when they're on a roll. And Tom Brady, who lives here in town, and Gronk, who lives here in town, would know more than I do. There's no way they believe, as hard as he used to ride those guys, he's putting that kind of effort into this North Carolina job. I get it too, man. New England Patriots, top of the world, 20 years, dominating like we've never seen. And now you go to North Carolina.
Well, I don't think he wants to coach in college. He wants to coach in the pros, right? And that's obviously the goal. But
I don't
this
think
seems to be turning out a lot more difficult than he thought it was going to be, man.
Yes. All right. Hey, we got to go to break here. We got a lot more stuff. Don't go away, man. The surveys are out again in the NBA. Boy, do they love one guy that we know very well. We'll tell you more about that coming up here. Atlantic Men's Clinic. Hey, to all guys out there, I think our boy Belichick's already figured out the program, but I will tell you, Atlantic Men's Clinic, doesn't matter what age you are, low T and ED are nothing to mess with. There's a lot of you listening right now that are up early in the morning that are dealing with low T. It happens to every guy. Every guy deals with low T, meaning as you get older, you lose your energy level. You probably figure that out. I don't feel like I did in my 30s. Yeah, I know, and they're probably not going to unless you go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. Hey, and the part that got me is I knew I had low T. I was tired. I'd get a good night's sleep or wasn't sleeping that well at the end there. But also, I couldn't keep my eyes awake driving home. I was like, something's wrong. And my sex drive was gone, completely gone. That's the one that really bothered me. That hit me 14, 15 months ago. That's the one that got my attention to go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. Happens to every guy, too. Black, white, brown, doesn't matter. It does not discriminate. When it comes to ED, every guy will have it. It happens to be Friday. It's a big day for Atlantic Men's Clinic, and it should be a big day for you to set up that first appointment with Atlantic Men's Clinic and knock out ED and low T, get the T, the PSA test, meet with their professionals. They're going to put you on a program that's perfect for you, not me, perfect for you to get great results quickly and knock out ED and low T. If it's something that's still important to you like it was me, you should do it. I'm telling you, the program works. 7 locations in South Florida to serve you. Set up that first appointment. Do it today so you can meet their professionals. Get that testing done. 877-455-7300 or visit AtlanticMensClinic.com today.
Miami's
trying to take it away and just never stopped the actual ball carrier. And this guy was running, he was like a runaway freight train, just running downhill. So that was disappointing. Again, we have an incredibly prideful group. So there are times in that game when you're watching the tape and you want to throw up, particularly because it's some of the guys that were making some of the errors. It was unlike them. So the beauty is we have an opportunity to correct it. We had no time to hang our heads and to walk around like we're at a wake, right? And I thought the guys yesterday at practice did just that. They attacked their daily routine and what they were trying to do, and just went out there and attacked the field and tried to get better. So hopefully we see the results of that this week.
I know. We got to see it. I get it. Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator. Love listening to him, though, man. Right to it. Working on it. Keep the positive attitude, but we got to get better, man. That number's got to come down. 174, 5.6. Those numbers together are not good. They're dead last in the league, and that's got to get a lot better this week. Sunday, 1 o'clock against the Chargers. 174 yards, giving up a game, and a 5.6 average, including, man, the last 2 weeks. That's the one that gets you. The Jets and the Panthers have run for over 400 yards between them. So just, again, keep playing them. Play the kids. Keep playing the young guys. But, boy, if they lose confidence and you see that heads down, eat your coach ego. Eat the coach ego if they're down, and let them step back. I'm not saying bench them or, make a statement. You can't give up on them. Look, at the last thing you could do for this reaction of, and they're struggling. Most of them are all struggling. This draft class is struggling. Numbers don't lie. Linebackers making way too many tackles too far down the field. And so all that needs to be cleaned up, but you can't give up on young players after 5 games. My God, you got them signed to contracts for 4, first rounders for 5, and you just got to get more out of them. Now, I understand a lot of it's on, and again, most people have been talking about one on offense and one on defense. 2 of the biggest guys on this team, Savaiinaea and Grant. One's a starting guard, got to get better, got to get it figured out. And Kenneth Grant, hey, man, you're number 1 dude coming out of a big program that was dominating the last couple years. Kenneth Grant. And we just, again, you're going to make some mistakes. But, boy, it just can't be play after play after play. It's just got to get picked up. So whatever it is, technique, obviously not physical, because you had all that talent. A lot of people thought he's the strongest defensive tackle coming out in the draft. So that's not it. Just figuring this whole thing out and what everybody's doing to you. And as Coach said last week, it's a copycat league. Whatever everybody's doing, no matter who's playing, they're going to try to continue to do it. And the Chargers are going to try to run between the tackles as often as they can. They are beat up, and we got a beat up offensive line. You try to run block and run block and run block all that you can. No question about it. So anyway, that was from yesterday. Hey, by the way, a little NBA news. They did I like this, the general manager survey. Send it to all the GMs. What's going on? Top NBA coach, 6th straight year, Eric Spoelstra. That's pretty good now because, they haven't been very good last couple of years. They're going, no, that's not a him problem. That's what he's working with. He's getting the most out of what he has. Top motivator, manager, Eric Spoelstra. Now, his team didn't get anything else. Is how they're going to finish. None of those numbers were good. And again, it's just general managers, but I always say, hey, all the GMs, they know a hell of a lot more than the rest of us do on the outside. The GMs know. They've studied everybody's roster. They know all the coaches, what they can and can't do. They know their personalities. They know the whole thing. I think Gary does, man. I think he gets the most out of what he has. And I know that doesn't say much. And by the way, Eric Spoelstra can't control when, guy wants to quit. That's not on Spo, who got stuck in the middle of an big ugly last year with Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. Spo got stuck right in the middle of it, and then I'm sure he got really pissed when he saw a player act the way he did. I'm sure that put him over the top and just said that's it. Now Jimmy's happy out in Golden State. They're going to make a run. I hear Steph Curry the other day talking about we like this team, especially having Jimmy Butler for a full year now. So we'll see. We got a good coach. No question about it. I guess he's also going to be about any tournament we have. He's going to be the coach for this country for any big tournaments worldwide, including the Olympic team. So congratulations to Spo, who, what is he now, 50? Damn, I've known him a long time. I remember when he was chasing basketballs and shooting video, and when they let us all, after practice, we could grab a basketball and play a game of horse. Tony Fiorentino and I, Tony come out, come on, man, let's play horse. I'm going to kick your ass again. I go, no, you're not. I've been practicing. And then Tony would drill me in a game of horse. You imagine now going to one of their practices and you could go out and shoot after practice. Times have changed, man. Times have changed everywhere. No doubt about it. We got more stuff to get to here. We got Larry Bluestein. Boy, what a game last week. Haven't talked about it. Northwestern Central. Boy, I'll tell you what, maybe the top public school game in the country last week. We're going to tell you how that thing, if you didn't see what happened, we're going to have Larry Bluestein on. Also, we had St. Thomas Aquinas on Wednesday, went over to Europe, played an NFL Academy team over there. So we'll get you caught up, and then all the big games coming up this week down the stretch here, getting a little closer to the playoffs. So Blue will get us caught up on all of that stuff. We got Paul Maurice going to join us. Kim Bokamper going to join us. We've given him some time to calm down after basically having a one-man show and getting after it, asking questions with everybody coming in last week. Everybody. What has happened, adjustments, what are we doing? The whole thing that had the big fella pretty fired up last week. Pretty fired up. So anyway, we'll have a lot of stuff coming up here for you in the 7 o'clock hour, man. Don't go away. We got plenty in the National Football League and with the Miami Dolphins, including a little update on Tua popping up with a couple of injuries. All right, right now I want to talk about hurricane season. Man, it's still here. You know what? I keep looking. I think we all look every day, kind of look to see what's going on in the Atlantic Ocean. Hey, I just want to tell you, there's one thing you could do. Chev always talks about this at Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Protect your home, Joe. Protect your home. It's the one thing you can do, and we would sure like to do it for you. If you've got an old leaky roof, replace your old roof now and pay later. Loctite has that program for you. Impact offers the highest quality roofing materials with lifetime warranty plus thousands of 5-star reviews. Save big on their legendary state-of-the-art Impact windows and doors. Impact windows as low as $6 per window per month installed. Don't wait for the next storm, right? I know what you're doing. You're trying to wait and see if you can get lucky one more year. Visit LoctiteImpact.com. Again, LoctiteImpact.com or call 954-500-LOCK. They cover all of South Florida. They got a great staff to take your calls every day and answer all your questions and get the process started. That's what Loctite Impact Window, Doors, and Roofing is all about.
I'm Jonah Gadjevich.
Hyundai, DoralHyundai.com. Starting with the Panthers, who are off to a 2-0 start to the season after beating Philly 2-1. Next up, the Cats host Ottawa tomorrow night. In the NFL, Week 6 began with the Giants upsetting the Eagles 34-17. Week 6 continues on Sunday with the Dolphins hosting the Chargers. And in baseball, the Dodgers advanced to the ALCS, beating the Phillies 2-1 in 11 innings. And the Cubs forced a Game 5 with the Brewers with a 6-0 win. Joe, the way that Dodgers game ended, you got to feel for that guy, right?
Well, I got to tell you this. The friggin' Dodgers, man, they are – it's kind of –
Ohtani's been so bad, too.
Oh, Lord. He's been
like
bad.
1 for 20 or something?
I saw one. Was it? It might be up by the end of that game. 1 for 17. The guy struck him out again. He's been terrible. But see, they're bringing in pitchers, Cy Young winners for another Cy Young winner, and half of them are Tampa Bay pitchers, right?
Yeah.
That were with Tampa Bay at one point. They get all these guys, best players from Japan. They get great pitcher. They get best player in baseball. And they got a couple guys that are cold right now. Actually,
that thing's going back to Philly if that guy realizes you got to throw to first. I mean, so he bobbles the ball, and you could just tell all panic set in there, man.
Well,
that's just so tough.
That team's going to be – you can't pitch any better than you just did, and they lost. And they're home. Philly's done. And by the way, Philly spends a lot of money. Don't feel bad.
I feel bad for that pitcher. They had the camera right in that guy's face as he was walking off the field.
Tell you what, starting pitching last night was nasty good. All right, we've welcome back for the 7 o'clock hour. Man, I just saw Ron McGill's in making the rounds. One of my favorite guys, so he'll join us, talk to us a little bit about the zoo. It's all never gets old, man. Whether it's young kids you have and you're listening right now, or it's your grandkids. Zoo Miami. So we'll have Ron McGill join us a little bit later on. We've got Larry Bluestein, our high school football insider. Kim Bokamp are going to join us. We'll get him lathered up here. Listen, I just want to say this about the Dolphins. The Dolphins are getting ready to play the Chargers. You know that. They're coming in. They officially have the most injured offensive line in football. Seriously, in football. They got 4 guys out for sure, including their starting offensive tackles, who are high number 1 picks. I mean, they went all in the last couple years to get Slater and Alt. 2 guys that right out of college, you're like, damn, they're ready to go. They're ready to line up. Now they got some of their backup tackles hurt. They're moving guys around. When you have to go not only bring practice squad guys up that have to play, now you got to get another batch. That's where they are. With this situation, nobody's going to feel bad for them. You just got to beat them up. This is not a sympathy day today for the Chargers, because this is part of the game. The Dolphins have had to deal with some of this at certain positions, or just didn't get enough players for certain positions in the offseason, which is a different topic. But you got to beat these guys. You got to at least take care. And if you don't win the game, you at least, this is a good time for Anthony Weaver and that defense. When you start talking, you're no longer playing against Pro Bowl guys. You're playing, not even in some cases, they're backups. You can't let them run, and you can't let them have time to throw. By the way, Justin Herbert has been sacked about as much as any quarterback in the game. He's been running for his life. He needs to do some more running this week. This Sunday, he needs to run around. Now, I'm not saying all of a sudden that means the Dolphins win. I'm not saying that. I haven't seen it through 5 games. I got to see it to believe it, that they're going to play better and put together a complete game and not just one quarter and then score 7 points the next 3. Or after being down 17-0, the other team goes, what are we doing throwing the ball so much? Let's start running it and run for 200-something yards in 3 quarters. So, like everybody else, show me, man. Show me right now with everything else that's going on. And by the way, while we're at it, and I know the media, we're all looking down the road and who's going to be on the new list to be the new head coach here. If and when that happens, take Bill Belichick off that list. Seriously. I don't know a lot, but I know Bill Belichick's got no shot to leave North Carolina and come back and be the Miami Dolphins coach. No shot. None that he's going to be the next coach here. So stop with that one. And please stop with the ESPN analysts too. Please stop with the ESPN analysts. Every guy that sounds so good on you want him to be your next GM, you want him to be your next head coach, you want him to be the next coordinator. Stop it. Stop. They've had a lot of chances, and they're all still sitting there for a reason. So I get it, man. And the John Gruden thing, stop. I get it. I get it. I know, but just because somebody says something you like, please, you're better than that. You're just better than that. Don't let's not do that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up this morning, and again, there's gonna be a lot of time to talk about all this stuff, and for Tua, I just want to see him finish out a game. That's it. Finish it out strong in the fourth quarter. I know he threw a touchdown in the fourth quarter. I know that. That was the 7 points they scored the last almost 3 quarters. That was the 7. Sometimes you got to finish it out with another drive. And it's not all on him. I know the offensive line has struggled. I see inside, which is a problem when your guys inside are struggling. It's the fastest way to get to the quarterback. I get it. It's always been like that. I understand that. But let's just put together a good game, and then you can go home and enjoy it with your family and all those other things that you talk about. I'm trying really hard to stay away from things that everybody's saying, because I get it. I get it as a guy who wants to see the team win and have for a long time. I do. And I know, I'm guessing in his own way, he wants the same thing. I'm guessing he wants to win too, besides put up good numbers and stay healthy, which we need him to do. Somebody asked me last night about the backup quarterback. I don't know. This has got to be on this guy. It's got to be on this guy to see what's going to happen. It's got to be him. Hey, another really cool story going on here. Really, really cool. I just saw this last night. Do you see who the 2 top sack guys are in the NFL, Woody? Nick Bonito and Brian Burns. What a great story. 7 sacks each. Brian Burns had a couple last night. Got traded to the Giants. Nick Bonito playing with Denver. I think he was a 3rd-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. From St. Thomas Aquinas and American Heritage Plantation. What a cool story that a couple of pass rushers are chewing it up from right down here in South Florida. Always like those stories. That's my teaser to let you know Larry Bluestein's coming up next, and we'll talk to Blue about what ended up being pretty close game. Central was hanging in there with Northwestern and at Travis Powell last week, but we'll also move on to where we are right now and games coming up here this weekend that if you get a chance, you might want to go out and watch. You might want to go check it out. And then, of course, last night, the big upset, man. You just never know in the NFL. I don't know about you, but I said, man, everybody's talking about the Eagles yesterday, and, man, the Eagles are going to kill the Giants. I go, yeah, they'll probably – I don't know if they'll kill them, but I know what kill means, like win by 10 or something. I could see that happening. Eagles lose last night to the Giants, and I mean they lost by 3 scores, 34-17. How's that to start the week in the NFL? Just when you get comfortable. That's why when you pick these games, and I know we got point spreads, but you pick games, you just never know. I think the Eagles were favored by 7.5 last night. And that happens. That's crazy, man. Just crazy numbers. Jeez. 2 rookies, a quarterback and a running back last night. And Woody, you are right. There's something about that personality that Giants quarterback has that is pretty damn special. Jackson Dart is 17 to 25, 195 yards in a pass, 1 touchdown pass. He ran 20 yards for a second one. He ran 13 times for 58 yards. I don't know if he can keep this going on the run and stuff because but I'll tell you what, he's given this team some energy that Russell Wilson could not give. Now, he's going to have some uglies coming up here. There is some uglies on the way, but that Skattebo.
Yeah, he's something, huh?
How about that?
It's just funny, like the opening drive of that game, he throws a pass, Dart throws a pass, the Eagles guy hits him in the chest, he drops it, right? They go down, end up scoring. I don't know how good he's going to be, Joe, but yeah, man, that guy just has the makeup of a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And he's in a big market there. The team has been bad for a while.
He looks like he was ready to take this team over. From the moment he got called in, he's got a little, and by the way, you can see the team rallying around him. And Russell Wilson sees it too.
Look, I respect that it is hard to pick a quarterback. It's not the easiest thing in the world, right? All these guys have missed. They know what they're doing. But at least the next time around, when we pick a quarterback, just pick a guy who at least can act the part.
There you go. You got it in.
No, I'm being serious.
No, you got it in.
Can't you just pick a guy that can act the part?
I'll bet you hit this hard yesterday for 4 hours.
No, the problem is I have Omar Kelly sitting next to me who's like, telling me how elite Tua is because he's got some numbers or something he pulled out of his ass.
I did see Omar's social media stuff yesterday.
Good. I hope it was a bloodbath. He deserved it. And then he looks at me and he goes, all right, fine. It's all Tua's fault. It's all Tua's fault. I'm like, no, man, no one's saying that, but he's a big part of the problem. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I just want a quarterback that acts like a quarterback. That guy in New York last night.
You want that guy
That's what it looks like.
Well, part of that acting he does, Tua cannot do. And one of them is that 20-yard run that he took off and made. Not going to happen.
I don't think Tua's going to be up on a stage with Fitzpatrick afterwards. I showed you the video. Skattebo's up there. The quarterback's up there, and they're screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
I don't think our guys will be doing that anytime soon.
That's not his personality. No, that's not him. Hey, we got to go to break here. We've got Larry Bluestein, our South Florida High School football insider, going to join us in just a moment. I do want to talk about a couple of guys that have serious passion in what they do. Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah, the partners of Cohn and Judah Injury Law Firm, personal injury attorneys, the same partners who handle your case from start to finish, more than 30 years of experience each, big enough to go to trial and get you multi-million-dollar results, small enough just to call you back. Here's the best part. There are no other attorneys but those two. There's no handoffs. There's a lot of handoff attorneys going on right now. Handoff attorneys, from names on the law firm to guys and girls and men and women that are attorneys that are handling all the cases. Yeah, a lot of these guys don't handle cases, but they're the front guys. Look great on the commercials. But if you think for some reason they're going to be handling your case, staying up night, trying to figure a game plan, how you can win big, especially when you've been injured and you get handed off to a couple of attorneys that forgot their people skills, never call you back, can't keep you update, and all of a sudden you don't feel like you're a priority, you need Cohn and Judah. You really do. You need to go back to the basics of somebody that cares, checks up on you. You can always get a hold of when you have a question, you're in pain. Go to CohnandJudah.com, read the reviews, partners who you can always get a hold of that care, man. Go to CohnandJudah.com, read the reviews, or call 866-FAIR-FEE. And remember this, they don't pay other lawyers to do the work. You hire them to do.
This hour of the Joe Rose Show is brought to you by Baptist Health.
It is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com.
All right, Woody, thank you so much. Larry Bluestar, South Florida High School insider, giving me updates up in Carolina. Joe, Central's up. Northwestern's up. Anyway, 30-21, the final. Northwestern takes care of Central. You said good chance they'll play again here, huh?
Oh, 100%. There's nobody really in this region that's going to shake anything up. And, what a classic setting. The Saturday afternoon, kind of an hors d'oeuvre to the Miami FSU game, packed house. Northwestern's just a better football team right now. But that doesn't mean that in 5 weeks or 4 weeks that things aren't going to change, because now you got to remember, up until last Saturday, Northwest or Central's only played 3 games because they had all those games rained out. But in this last week, they've already made up 3 of them. So they went from 3 wins to 6 wins pretty quickly. And they really don't have anybody the rest of the way. And Northwestern doesn't have anybody, and the region really is not great. So, yeah, there's a great chance that their round 2's coming up, and that's the one that's I think it's going to produce a state champion. And, you could throw Jacksonville Reigns in there all you want. You did that last year. They came in here 13-0, and they got shut out. So, no, those are the 2 best teams by far in Class 3A. And, great setting, though. You talk about high school football, and especially in South Florida, and, you talk about athletes, you talk about, rivalries, and that kind of epitomizes what high school football is, and especially in Miami-Dade County.
All right, boy, the other nice story, man, is this Dillard team. I thought, it was going to be a close game. I thought the old neighborhood and the old Soul Bowl, Ely and Dillard. Boy, Dillard just pounded Ely. My God, now 7-0. That surprised you a little bit? It was so lopsided.
That I thought, because last year Dillard had the better team and Ely beat them. So, but there was a lot of revenge, and, that's one of those games. That's a Northwestern Central type of game in Broward County. A lot of split families, as we, talked to last week. But Dillard could wrap up the district title tonight. They play up in Palm Beach County against Dr. Garcia High School. That's in their district. And then they kind of cruise right into the playoffs. And, everybody's talking about their rematch, because remember last year in the playoffs they had American Heritage, I believe 14-10 early in the game. But that's a district that has to be taken care of too, because tonight you have almost a survival game for Miami Norland, as they will play American Heritage tonight. It's a district game, and the winner, if Norland should win that game, that puts Archbishop McCarthy in the driver's seat.
Wow. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This Archbishop story is truly unbelievable. How much better and how quickly they've been able to do it. It's incredible.
Well, you know what? When you do it the right way, and great coaching, and their facilities are like second to none. They're the only team in South Florida, maybe the only team in the state of Florida, has an indoor. So that kind of attracts kids over there. And no, they've played extremely well. But like I said, they have Plantation tonight. If they take care of business, and New Orleans should come up with a win, that puts them very much in the driver's seat, to win. But I think, because the 4A, Class 4A is really not strong, I think once again all 4 of those teams, Plantation, Archbishop, Heritage, and Norland, all make the playoffs.
Wow. Okay.
What do they do? Yeah, what do they do when they get in the playoffs? And last year, Heritage got hot, even though they lost Diabel last year. It was Malachi Toney that actually won.
I think we've heard that name a few times this year. Some people think he's the best freshman player in the country. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he definitely did. And, before we go on, I just want to give a shout out to St. Thomas Aquinas. They went overseas, and they beat the NFL team, the
London NFL Academy. Yeah.
Yeah, 31-28. What an experience. You just don't understand, for 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids, to go to a place where they read about it, and obviously in their world history classes and stuff like that, but get an opportunity. And, Twan Russell, he's all about education, and being the athletic director, he kind of led the charge to make sure that the kids, not only
great experience, man. Jeez,
but
that
he
was
made
awesome.
he made sure that the kids got a chance to see every site, and they won. Now they'll come back, and they closed with Chaminade, but their district too is pretty much. And they are in 5A right now. Orlando Edgewater is a team that I'm going to throw out there early on, in things that could be tough, and then Lakeland again. But a game that I'm going to tonight, and I know our Palm Beach fans always listen, is Delray Atlantic. Okay, they're undefeated, and they play for the district, pretty much a district title against Coconut Creek, who's 6-1.
Yeah, Creek's had a good year. Yeah.
They've had a great year, Joe. But not only that, you look at Delray Atlantic, and remember, they're the ones that had that 20-0 first quarter lead against St. Thomas in the playoffs last year. So, they lost a couple of kids, but they're undefeated. They're state rated, and that's it. That's the game I'm going to be going to tonight. I think it's going to be really, really good. Both teams are exceptional. Remember that Delray beat Norland already this year, pretty handily. So it's going to be interesting. And then another one of our Palm Beach teams, we got to get them in there as well. And this is courtesy of our good friend Louis Oliver, who told me all about that. Glade Central has a chance to win the district tonight to play against Fort Myers Bishop Moreau. The Raiders are 6-0, and he thinks that this is the best team they've had in a long time. So we got to give Belle Glade and Glade Central and Pahokee, who's 5-1.
What nice stories, man. It's good when the muck is good, man. It's good. It's good when the sugar cane is healthy over there, man. It's good for business over there. They got great folks, and that football over there, it just seems a little bit more important than a lot of other places in South Florida where football is always important anyway. So it's a nice story. By the way, Delray Beach Atlantic, best team in Palm Beach, or do you like West Boca? What are you thinking?
Well, that'll be settled. That's a final game of the season. That's going to be a war. But right now, I would say Delray Atlantic, because they've had a tough schedule. They've had to play a couple of Dade County teams, like they played Norland. And not to say West Boca had to play Bergen Catholic, and they've played some pretty good teams. So that's going to pretty much set it up. I think when we get to that game, I believe that's the same week as Chaminade and St. Thomas. So it's going to kind of set things up. But, yeah, I'd have to go with them 1 and 2. And they certainly have done a good job. And I don't want to leave out, Glade Central now that they've kind of got back in the mix. And like you said, is 100%. When the muck is going good, all is well. And both them and Pahokee will end the season. And they'll pretty much be, I believe, 9-0 and 8-1, which is not
That's amazing. I mean, they are right back next to each other up there, too, if you haven't been up to see it. I mean, they back up to each other, and those games are really fun to watch. I'm glad I got the experience to see it twice.
Yep.
And go over there and see it. Yeah, that was really cool. Wouldn't go over real big with a wife, though, if I'm not back for, it got to be.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
No, Blue, you got it made, Blue. I mean, you tell the family going out the door, like, honey, back to work tonight.
Yeah, well, it's been that way for years. But the whole thing is next week you have the GMAC week, and that will match up a couple teams. A lot of people are upset because they didn't put Northwestern as the number 1 seed. So Central will play South Ridge for the overall title. Northwestern
that's a good one, man. That's always a good game.
And rightfully so, because Northwestern beat Central, so they should have been the number 1 seed. But I'm not going to take shots at the GMAC. I guess they had to do that.
It'll all take care of itself, Blue. Don't get upset about that stuff. That's you just got to play who you play, man. Don't ever let that bother you, man. Don't 100%. Do that. Hey, we got enough problems. We got enough problems with that Florida High School Athletic Association. What a bunch of frauds they are up there to start with, and the gutless cowards down here that don't support our schools more, that have a vote in it. Shame on them too. But like you said, that's another day, man, another topic for sure, because we don't want to do that, mess up high school football.
And I know you're anxiously awaiting our top 5 because it changed.
Yeah, what do you got top 5 here in South Florida? I want to hear this.
St. Thomas will stay 1.
St. Thomas 1.
Northwestern stays in that 2 position.
All right.
Chaminade's at 3. Moving South Ridge up to 4 at 6-0.
Fair.
They came. You remember they finished that game with Columbus last Monday, and they beat them. They came back and beat them. So Columbus has been a really big surprise this year. They're 2-5, but you never know because they're still going to make the playoffs, so they could come alive there. And then the number 5 team's Miami Central with Dillard and Ice Harris's Matter Academy and Palmetto. West Broward Heritage and Cardinal Gibbons rounding out the top 10. So
you can't get a Palm Beach school in there, or are you just keeping them out on purpose?
Well, yeah, we'll keep those in Dayton, Broward.
Palm Beach, that's Larry Bluestein's list. I just want to let you know. West Boca, I'm sorry, Atlantic, and the schools up there listen to us. I apologize. That was Larry Bluestein. Hey, Blue, thank you.
It would be tough. It would be tough for them to crack the top 5. They may be in there right after that. So, but next week, you know what? I'm going to add the Palm Beach teams in there, and we'll do top 10. Just to save myself.
Blue, you're the best. Nobody can get mad at you except Uncle Luke. All right, hey Blue, thank you.
Let's not talk about that. That could be a documentary right there.
All right, Blue. Thanks, brother. Thank you, man.
Joe,
you are the best. You are the best, man. Nobody promotes high school football down here. The factory that it is. Hey, by the way, we're going to have a CEO of a big company join us next. So don't leave. It's something that you and your family enjoy. When I say CEO, the big man of something that everybody in South Florida enjoys, don't go away. That's my teaser coming back for you. Right now, I want to talk to you about something pretty serious. Dr. Barry and his staff at Recovery Unplugged. Hey, man. I've had a lot of friends, gone through a little bit myself where I've been off the road and going through some issues. You lose your job, you lose wives, you lose people you're close to, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the bottle and you get yourself in a little mental health problem. Well, listen, I want to let you know we're all talking about game changers on the field, but here's one for your mental health. Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health has a beautiful mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale for 12 years. They've helped over 20,000 people heal with expert clinical team and innovative treatments like this ketamine therapy for depression and anxiety and trauma. Look, if you know somebody going through it, or you're listening right now and going through it, and you find yourself in the same funk every day and everybody else has noticed, do something about it. If you or someone you love needs a winning strategy, call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. Everyone deserves a great season in life. Recovery Unplugged, heal out loud.
I'm Seth Jones.
Hey, do I hear some animals in the back there, Woody? Woody, do I hear? I think I do. I think I've heard that sound with my grandkids and my kids. I think so. The CEO of the best thing we've got going down here, Zoo Miami, Ron McGill joins us.
I'm just a communications guy, Joe. But
what is the official title? President.
No, Director of Communications. Goodwill Ambassador. That's it. Goodwill Ambassador.
I like that one.
I can't believe you're a grandfather. I still can't believe that.
4.
Holy jeez, I look at you and I'm going, man, I want to be a grandfather like him.
Man, I got to tell you, they all think I'm not all there, man. So, yeah, that's always an interesting one that's going on. Hey, man, so this zoo thing you have going, I always tell everybody it's one of the best things, as other things are closing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's just, man, and I guess we got to give credit to Dade County, understanding how important it is. And the growth and what you guys do. It's just one of the best zoos, man.
They've been so supportive of us, and it's really great. You know, we've got this great new parks director, Christina White. She's been fantastic. Really, she has been fantastic.
Well, then, Christina White, I love you, and we love you.
She really is.
That's great. Man, there's always so much stuff, and, catch the right day to go. It's just everything, so much parking. The whole experience is great, whether you want to walk and get your steps in or you want to cheat the system a little bit. You can do it. A ton of ways to get away and feed the giraffes right out of your friggin' hand and have the kids crying. It's okay. They won't bite. No deal.
There you go.
It's great. So what else you got going on, man?
This big party, Joe. This is what I talked to you about. On October 18th, it's the adults only party. You know, the zoo during the daytime's Clark Kent.
Not one of those Halloween.
Oh, yeah. One year we had we haven't done this.
What goes on with women when they tell their husband, I'm going to dress naughty tonight? It's the most beautiful thing.
It's fantastic. We haven't done this party for close to 10 years because previous administration thought it was a little too risque for the zoo's image, blah, 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 blah. We finally convinced them, listen, we got to appeal to different genres here.
Yeah.
The last time we had the party, we had a woman dressed only in saran wrap, brother. She was a saran wrap mummy. Nothing else, just a saran wrap. You know what I mean? It was fantastic. Okay. But this is a great party because adults, Joe, people our age, when they put on a costume, especially the women, it's fantastic because they have a sense of anonymity, and you see this part of people that's just a lot of fun.
Right.
So we got 20 of the best restaurants. Everybody, Tap 42, Tacos and Tattoos, Golden Rule, Texas Roadhouse, all you can eat bites. We got open bars, all you can drink. It's got this great costume contest. Going to have some great prizes. We got a fire dancer. We got Wild Fork is giving us major steaks to feed to the tiger that night. We're going to do a big major public tiger feeding with Wild Fork steaks, if you can believe that. The tiger eats better than I do, for God's sake.
Yeah. Animals are well taken care of there.
Oh, yeah. And then, listen, not that you know, we got some performers. We got Bow Wow's going to be doing a performance there. This Justina Valentine, another performer, is going to be there. So we got some big movers and shakers coming too. It's going to be a heck of a party.
Wow, you've loaded up. What's going to be the official date on this?
It's October 18th, brother, from 7 to 11. Now, the tickets are normally $150 a piece, but I'm going to tell you something. You use my code that I'm going to give you, RONMM25. RONMM25. You get 15% off. Now, Miami's one of the most expensive places in the whole country to eat out, right?
Yes.
Where do you go to eat all you can eat from 20 great restaurants, all you can drink, open bars from Bacardi bars for $150? I can't tell you.
Nowhere.
It's not going to happen. Plus, with this discount, you get a less. And they got a group thing where you can buy 4 tickets for $500. You can apply the 15% to that. So you're basically getting $100 a ticket. And it's this great party. And I'm telling you guys, I cannot overemphasize. I've been at the zoo for 46 years. This is really the most fun adult party we throw.
Wow. October 18th. That's fantastic. So bottom line is, don't plan on driving. It's a night for Uber.
There you go.
We'll have Uber as official sponsor of that, Big Daddy, because that's a great party, man. It sounds good.
And one of these days, I'm going to see you at one of these parties, Joe.
You know what? You've been great through the years, and I have never gone to one of these.
Well, I know you're a busy guy, man. Everybody wants
to
go.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I always appreciate it. Don't think that I don't appreciate you always think of me during these things up there as I become an old man here doing all this stuff. So what's new at the zoo right now? What do we got?
Well, we got all kinds of stuff. We're building a new hospital. We're going to be breaking ground on. It's a $25 million hospital. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to be doing a whole new tiger exhibit where you're going to be able to go nose to nose with the tigers right up to a piece of glass. We're extending the big giraffe feeding platform. So a lot of people go out there under shade to feed the giraffe and explore that.
Great plan.
Yeah. So no, there's a lot of things. It's constantly changing. We've got several animals that, had a busy
Good.
summer, so they're going to be delivering
very
some
active.
babies soon.
Yeah,
Yes,
good.
yes, there you go. So we got some babies coming along. So things are always changing. I've been there, like I said, going on 46 years now. No day is the same.
Yeah. How many years you been there now?
46, brother. 46 years. I can't believe it.
They can't kick us out.
No.
You love what you do, though.
I do love what I do.
So when
I've been
people
very
go,
lucky.
Ron, have you thought about retirement? And you're going, I get to go like to African stuff to do.
I always tell people, when you get paid to do things that people pay to do, it's a scam. I've been living the scam for 46 years.
Be careful on that one down here. Well, you have not been a scam.
Listen, I get
You're one of the best things we have down here. You really are,
Joe,
Ron. What you have done.
I get to come out here and do the Joe Rose show and meet people like you. I'll never forget the first time I met you. I said, oh my God, he caught Marino's first TD pass. This is Joe Rose. And I couldn't believe how down there. I'm not trying to patronize you, Joe, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. From the first day I met you with your family, this guy, you're the real deal, brother.
All right, well, you're going to stay on the rest of the show because you're stroking me like that. So anyway, Hey, so I got to ask you, somebody asked, we always talk about this. Talk about the Everglades with me for just a second. You're affiliated with it. I'm guessing you get asked about the Everglades all the time. Is the snake thing still out of control, or does it get any better with all the programs of hunting and the eggs together? And now we can.
Joe, I'll tell you, we have that python roundup every year, that whole catch the pythons.
Really good time to get all the rednecks together.
They love going out there catching the snakes, but you're not even making a dent into those populations. That's more of a PR campaign to raise awareness about how bad this problem is. But at the end of the day, Joe, I've been out there, and this has been my life. I've walked right by one, didn't even see it until one of the indigenous people said, hey, look, there's one right there. I go, oh my God, I didn't even see it. There are tens of thousands of these pythons out there. Tens of thousands. There's no way we're going to eradicate them short of some kind of weird 10-day freeze coming across. It's a problem we have to live with now. The best we can do is try to manage it. And that's what they're doing. They're all doing all kinds of research. They got the bunnies now that they've put the little programmers in so they can track them, catch them that way. They've, used these Judas pythons to try to find other pythons. So there's a lot of research, there's a lot of work being done, but it's altered that landscape forever.
So what happens to what happens to the Panthers and what happens?
The Panthers, they're
going to survive.
They're going to survive, but you have different landscapes. For instance, we've lost areas where the pythons are. There's no more raccoons. There's no more rabbits. There's no more possums. And they are not becoming extinct. They're just moving to another area. But when they move to another area, it has a domino effect because those animals were seed dispensers, the dispersers. They would eat something, poop the seeds out. The whole environment changes. When you lose that key link in that chain, that environment changes. It has a domino effect. So we don't know what the long-term effect is going to be.
Wow.
But we live in a state, it's the Ellis Island of exotic animals.
Yeah.
And there are more non-native reptiles in the state of Florida than there are native ones. That's how bad it is. Yeah. Everything from tegus to pythons to chameleons, stuff that doesn't belong here. They're all over the place.
People had pets at one time and decided couldn't take care of it. Let me dump it out in the old
Everglades, South Florida.
Somewhere,
and what happens is, that happens in Michigan, that happens in New York. First winter, everything dies, freezes out. Right. Happens here in Miami. It's like Club Med for reptiles, man. And these things are just
even better here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, how the alligators hold up with this whole? Are they great survivors in this whole thing?
They are survivors. They've been around for millions and millions of years. But it's ironic because like the South Florida Everglades alligators are not nearly as big and as rotund as the ones in Central and Northern Florida.
I did not know.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not nearly as big and massive as the ones you see in Central and North Florida because the environment's been altered so much.
Wow. I always wonder what it's going to look like down the road because Everglades is one of the most beautiful things we have.
It's not just beautiful
airboats.
It's our livelihood, man.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. Whether it's the water that we drink, whether it's the tourists that come in here to go fishing, we depend on the Everglades. I tell people all the time, even if you don't care about animals, even if you don't care about wildlife, that Everglades is a direct correlation to our quality of life here. Whether it be tourism dollars coming in, but like the water we drink, the environment that we live in. By protecting those Everglades, we're protecting ourselves, even if we never go to visit them. By protecting them, we're protecting ourselves.
Is the state doing enough? Or obviously they're trying. We're good friends with some of the guys.
I will tell you that one of the positive things I have to say about the state, the governor's office, is that they have done a lot for the Everglades. They have really sunk in a lot of money into the Everglades, into restoration.
Yeah, I think everybody gets how important it is.
Yeah, you can't overemphasize.
West side to over here, it's
you can't overemphasize how important it is. So I'm very pleased with the state doing that. They've dedicated significant dollars.
Well, Let's pump up this thing one more time, if you would, for Zoo
Monster,
Miami. What a great event.
Monster Masquerade, open bars, 20 of the best restaurants. You're going to have a great costume contest. You got the tiger feeding. You got fire dancers. You got photo booths. You got all kinds of stuff. It's one of the best parties in South Florida. Adults only, 21 and over. Okay, so we have the costume contest for a best all-around, best couple, and best group. Some great prizes there. Use the code RONMM25. You get 15% off of the $150 ticket, which brings you down. And then you can get the 4-pack, which is $500 for 4 tickets. Add the 15% to that. You're paying basically $100 for all you can eat, all you can drink in a town that's the most expensive to eat.
Grab your friends, go out,
man. Have fun.
And
have fun.
Have all the drinks you want. Get a little silly and get a little wild. It's okay to get a little older and get a little immature.
We've earned it.
And bring it out a little bit. And just make sure you got somebody driving you if you're going to drink the way I drink.
Or do the Uber thing, man. Do the Uber thing.
Good way to go. Ron, thank you, man. So glad you had time to
always a pleasure.
Come on in here and join us. Ron McGill from Zoo Miami, the CEO of Dade County.
The communications director.
I was going to try to do it with a straight face, and I knew you were like, Joe, why do you got to give me that title?
Come on, Joe.
Who's the big boss? Like, is there
a director? His director, Will Elger, is the director of this.
Yeah. Is he's all right? We like him, right?
Yeah,
is the guy trying to put the new slide in the water park?
That's done. We beat that, brother. That's done.
They moved on to a new location.
That's one of the things I'm most proud of in my career is that we beat that boondoggle. Jesus Christmas.
I'll tell you what, you were strong, man.
I was.
You know what? There was no more nice Ron shaking hands and kissing babies. Like,
I was prepared to lose my job over that. So I told him, I said, fire me, but I'm not stopping.
I think when everybody saw that, that's when everybody really got behind it. Like when you said, this is not good for what I'm about and we're about.
And I'm telling you, Joe, again, in my 46-year career, it's one of the things I'm most proud of in my entire career and most thankful to the community. I believe in that saying, when the people lead, the leaders will follow. And those people demonstrated that during that.
Well, I got to tell you, that was fantastic, man. Can't say enough about that job you did. Ron, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. Great talking to you as always.
And please go Dolphins.
Yes, go Dolphins. Figure it out, man. Figure it out. Tua, get it going, man. Defense, get it rolling a little bit. Atlantic Men's Clinic, boy, I tell you what, ED and low T, it's a bad thing. Ron was asking me about it. So, Ron, don't worry about ED and low T. Go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. You'll never go wrong. I'm telling you, whether it's just your energy level, your sex drive. Hey, man, it happens to every guy out there. I'm telling you right now, every guy goes through it. Sometimes in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. If you're going through it, I want to let you know, go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. Nobody does it in a more professional way. First class, great facilities to go to and get great results. To be honest, you get the PSA test. Not only that, you meet with their professional staff. That's why it's so important to set up that first appointment. Hear them out. Tell them what's going on with you. They'll tell you they got a program for you to get great results quickly. That's the number one question I get asked when guys come on, how fast before this kicks in? I know they're talking about the ED part, not the low T. Hey, man, they're both important. I don't know about you, but I want to have more energy to play tennis and walk and stay active like I used to. And I get it. Not to mention being able to chase that little wife of mine around. 7 locations in South Florida to serve you. Brand new location in Hollywood. 877-455-7300. Please set up that first appointment. Go in and hear what they have to say. Jump on the program. It works. Unbelievable results. Visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com for more information.
This update is brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai, DoralHyundai.com. Starting with the Panthers, who are 2-0 to start the season after beating Philly 2-1. Next up, the Cats will host Ottawa tomorrow night. In the NFL, Week 6 began with the Giants upsetting the Eagles 34-17. Week 6 continues on Sunday with the Dolphins hosting the Chargers. And in baseball, the Dodgers advanced to the ALCS, beating the Phillies 2-1 in 11 innings. And the Cubs forced a Game 5 with the Brewers with a 6-0 win. The Joe Rose Show continues now.
Number 58 from San Jose State, out of Milpitas High School, Cam Skattebo.
Are you glad you got that out of the way? Joining us is Kim Skattebo. And Bo, thanks for coming on here. A special edition of Football Friday. And by the way, thank you for pushing me to get that colonoscopy done, brother. I appreciate it. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't even thinking about it, man. And you started, and you had a good story of your own. I was like, he's right, man. I went home and started thinking about it. So thank you. I got it.
Well, I wasn't worried about you going in and having it done. I was worried about you the night before for the that process.
Oh, Lord.
That's not a fun thing there.
Lost a lot of weight, but that was the only good thing to come out of it. Hey, Bo, so we got a lot to talk about. Listen, man, I know it's a broken record, and Woody's rolling his eyes getting ready to blast me again. They got 4 or 5 offensive linemen out. They got their starting tackles out, who are both high first-round picks and really good players, and Slater and all. If there's ever a game that your defensive line was going to get this thing figured out, it's when everybody on that O-line is basically banged up or out of this game. Do they make changes besides the arm tackling I heard about yesterday from Anthony Weaver? Could you see some small changes going into this game, or something else they can do?
Yeah, I think so. But look, Joe, we went into Carolina. Oh, they got the backup running back, and
right.
I think one of their guards was hurt.
Yes.
And look what happened to us.
Yeah.
To me, I remember playing a game where there was a bunch of guys out, and so you do everything that you're doing normally during the week, but it's kind of going these guys, and then all of a sudden we're down by 10 or something. You go, oh my God, what happened? And so I'm not. I tend to kind of try to stay away from that, although it's human nature. Oh, look, half their guys are out and this and that or whatever, and they got this problem or that problem. But look, So if you're the Chargers, you're looking at the Dolphins,
yes,
and saying same thing, right?
Yes.
Oh, they got a bunch of guys out. They got a bunch of rookies playing. None of them are playing really well. This and that. And so I don't know. It's just I think where we're at right now, you can't really take your belt, tighten it up, and say, hey, we're going to win this one. You know what I mean? But so you talked about the defense. I think I'm not going to say it's a simple solution to the defense, but I think part of it is, and we're reading or hearing what Anthony Weaver said, and kind of got thrown under the bus by the coach, and that I'd like to been in a room for that conversation, but to simplify it, I would say everybody just do your own job.
Yeah.
Right. Don't be, so he talked about. They talked about the front, the defensive line, which they only played 2 or 3 guys, and they tried some 4-man line. They're kind of moving things around there, but the defensive lines. The first thing they got to do is be able to keep people off their linebackers. They've got to keep them on the line of scrimmage and stay in their positions and not let them get to the second level, because they get to the second level and they miss. Then that third level is just pick and choose where you want to go.
Right.
And the other thing too is, look, for 3 weeks they had no turnovers, and so over the last couple weeks the emphasis was on turning the ball over. Well, there's 2 ways to turn the ball over, and the way that, I'm talking about not from an interception standpoint, but from a fumble standpoint.
Yeah.
First guy stands the guy up, and then the rest of the guys try to punch the ball out. And I think they're getting it. And then, look, that's what Anthony Weaver talked about. Guys were just trying to punch the ball out, and while they're punching the ball out,
guys are running.
You know, and look, I've seen this. We've seen this time and time again, Joe. Guy gets him, wraps him on, he's punching the ball out. Meanwhile, the guy's still running 10 yards down the the field, right?
Yes.
So I think you've got to be smart. You got to be smarter at that. You know, it was always, you know, hey, first guy holds him up, and then here comes the cavalry trying to punch the ball out. So got to be a little bit of that. And I don't know what you do about the defensive linemen. You know, Jordan Phillips, in the first couple games, we were going, oh, he's playing pretty well. Kenneth Grant has not played well at all. In fact, I mean, he got pushed around. In the last couple games, he got pushed around pretty well by the offensive line. So he's got to find a way to be more stout. But you got nowhere to go, Joe. Those are the guys you put in. You know, and the same thing on the offensive side with Savaianaya. He's struggling out there. But it's much like I always go back to the Patrick Paul thing. If he wouldn't have those 350 snaps he had last year, we wouldn't see. We may not be seeing the way he's playing now, you know, in that same. So it's kind of like these guys got to go through it and figure it out. And as they're figuring it out, you got a bunch of rookies out there. They're trying to figure it out, and it's a tough proposition.
Yeah, because I don't think any of us, and maybe shame on us, Bo, but we kind of looked at this young class and goes, man, we're going to have a lot of them really help us, and we're going to be really good. And we didn't know their rankings were going to be almost dead last in the league for their positions in some cases. I just worry about confidence, Bo. As long as they have confidence, I'm good to go. But if it's like, oh, damn, it just happened again. Oh, here we go again. And they put their head down. Not that you got much to do. I mean, you got Benito Jones and Matthew Butler. We're rotating everybody as it is. So it's a tough situation.
So Joe, this you know, the other thing too is this. You know, let's go back to training camp, right? Let's go back to preseason games. So we go in first preseason game. They played some. So I don't think Kenneth Grant played much after that first preseason. You know, we've seen enough of him. Well, no, you didn't. You know, and so those rookies that you're throwing in there, and all of a sudden, and you know, for what the only valuable practices they had from rookies from being to where you want to get them were the joint practices with the Bears and the Lions, and then the 3 preseason games, and a couple of them didn't play a lot in a couple of those games. So now you come into week 1, and it's all go all the time, and these guys they're not prepared for it. You know, it's just so it's going to be a learning thing, and they can't. What are they going to do? Sit all those guys down?
No,
they can't do that.
This is all you have, man. The drop off for everybody wants you to go out and find something else. It's just not there.
But so to your point from confidence, you know, what happens if the Chargers come in here?
Oh man.
You return you get the ball first. Your offense goes nowhere. Chargers go right down the field and score. And then you get then same thing, and next thing you know, you're down 14-0. You know, then what happens? And look, I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but it certainly could be from what we've seen over the course of this season. Then that confidence starts to waver, right?
Yes.
Not only with the guys that are having trouble, but the guys that are trying to do their job and help those guys. You know, they're in a bind. So yeah, it's
Hey, Bo, I got to bring this one up. Tua talks, and at some point talks about team, and he says all the right things, but then somehow he goes, I go home, I'm fine, I don't pay attention to what anybody says. He gets in the family and the kids, and it just sometimes, Bo, I feel like our fan base, you for sure, I just heard you got to tell me what you're feeling just to this whole thing about after games. You want to know those guys really, really friggin' care. I get they get their money no matter what and stuff.
Yeah.
He just says things sometimes that just I don't really want to hear my quarterback saying. I think Woody's on to something. What's your take?
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm usually not in the interview room when when Tua talks or Mike talks. And just circumstances last week, I was, just because they came in really quickly, and so I was in there. And so I'm listening to a talk, and it was just kind of just not the words he was saying, just his body language in this. It's just like, here's what I would want to see my quarterback come in there and feel hurt and know that he's hurting and know that he's disappointed. I mean, he came in like a college professor and look, he answered the questions and blah, blah, blah. And he was, okay. But, it seemed like just matter of fact, like where's your heart at? Where's your heart? You got beat in one of the worst games you could possibly see. And it's kind of like, okay, just another day, you want to see, and look, maybe that's him trying, because look, the guy has been polarizing since he was in college and coming out of college, and
that's true.
He's certainly been raked over the coals here in South Florida, and so maybe that's his way just to deal with it and get through it.
Yeah, maybe look, you're right. Everybody's different.
Yeah, but look, it doesn't. I don't think it plays well with. Certainly doesn't play well with me. I don't think it plays well with you, and I think most of the fans are going, was this guy emotionally involved or concerned about it? It just seems like it's just another day, Well,
I don't want to hear about potato chips on the couch, and I don't want to hear about you can't play this position, which we all know. Obviously, you and I can't play that position.
Well, look, this, and I think he said this twice. Why don't you come up and see how you would do, or some to that. So some guy sitting, like Hollywood, sitting in the sofa with a bucket of ice cream and potato chips and stuff, and saying, "Hey, why don't you come in here and try this?" You know what I mean?
Well, the fact that Woody would have to get away from that ice cream and potato chips would piss him off to start with.
Which will never happen.
Which he doesn't want.
By the way, I think Woody told me that you owe him a dinner at Catching Cup.
I do. He's trying to way to bring it up, Bo. I do. Woody, he brought it. You know how many times he brought it up Monday?
Woody, let me just give you a heads up. Next week is the stone trap season. It's opening up on the 17th or something. And we're going to bring out the Colossos right off the bat. You might want to choose that day for. Tell Joe to go to the bank and let's go to the restaurant.
Hey, you know what? I do owe him, and I actually, because last time I lost a bet. We went to Joe's, and so I am going to go up there and I'm going to enjoy him myself. But he trying to bring the family and the wife and stuff. I go, no, your wife ain't going to this. She got to stay home and take care of the kids. This is you. Don't be bringing Vladdy and all the other guys who are drinking doubles on me there on the party. So, yeah, Bo, man, I was just, I trying to figure out 14 carries, 19 yards. That can't ever happen again. I don't care who we're playing. You agree?
No.
We got to be able to run it on the other side too. And I know we got some guys that are having problems like most teams right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that, I mean, look, wasn't that going in? Wasn't that the thought, like, just run the football? You run the football well, run the football. You lost Tyreek, pound that running game. And boy, and I don't know what happened, Joe. I really don't know what happened. I think Savai and I had a bad game. And I think Paul probably didn't have the type of game that he's used to having. And let's not forget, you got a right side where those two guys, and I don't know, Daniels and Austin Jackson, when are these guys going to stand up and play football, Joe? I don't know, Bob. Daniels plays 3 plays for the season. Jackson plays about a half of a game, and here we are coming into, what week are we into now? 7 or what week we're in? We're 6.
What is 6? Yeah, 6 games.
Week 6, and they're available to come off. And Mike, well, they're not ready in maybe another couple of weeks or what. I've seen guys who that had shoulder surgery and come back faster than these guys. I don't.
Well, I don't know, man. I just hope guys want it. I hope guys haven't shut down, and we'll find out. I'm sure this is going to be another one that goes right down to the wire again with their injury and stuff. So we'll see. But hey, Bo, thanks, man. Appreciate you coming on this morning. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. We'll catch up with you later on.
All right, I'll see you in a little while. Kim Bokamper joining us to talk a little bit about the Miami Dolphins. I know I owe you, man. Go ahead, say something. You can say something. It's all right.
No, I didn't know stone crab season was coming up. Sounds good.
Fresh. Wait, the guy had to open his mouth. I was going to take you during that anyway. I was waiting for the stone crabs to take you for my lost bet. You're probably going to want to make another.
You want to go double or nothing this weekend?
No.
See how good you're feeling about the Chargers?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing that, man.
I'll bring everyone here. We'll bring the whole family.
I know.
Vlad.
I know. Yeah.
We'll go double or nothing if you want.
They weren't very nice to me on that bill that day. They guys loaded up. They thought I was some rich guy or something the way they were acting. Hey, man, I got to take a second to tell you about something really important if you own your own business, huh? Boy, if you're a business owner and you're feeling a little bit of stress these days, a lot more headaches, if you're just plain tired of being tired, I got a guy I want you to call. He's the main man. He's been the main man here in South Florida for a long time. He owns that. Anthony Caliendo at the Business Broker Experts. He's the best business broker in the entire state of Florida. He doesn't just list businesses, he packages businesses to sell. And that's really what makes him the best at what he does, man. Florida's booming, you know that. A lot of people are moving down here, have sold their companies in other places to come down here with their families. And they're looking for companies just like the ones you have. Nothing's too specialized, nothing's too big, nothing's too small. Boy, I'm telling you what, and he really is the total package. Matter of fact, I want to say this. Anthony's got a program called the Biz Exit Experts Advisor Program. Listen to this. It can help you increase your business value by up to 71% or more before you even list it for sale. Over 80,000 business owners have already used it, and it's helped them in a big way. Anthony Caliendo wants to do it with you, the main man. Dial 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN. That's 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN. Talk to him directly. It's the only guy you're going to be dealing with is Anthony. He'll flip your biz and cash you out big. 1-800-THE-MAIN-MAN. coming on. Really excited. Paul Maurice going to join us, Florida Panthers head coach, in just a few minutes. It's amazing. Just everything's been said. They're 2-0, another win. Brad Marchand, third period goal. Get a lot of shots. Don't give up a lot of shots. Big Bob's been good. You know, Big Bob's faced 39 shots in 2 games. The system, they play hard. And one more game, by the way, at home tomorrow before they hit the road. But just a great story and a great start to the season. So Coach Maurice will join us coming up. We'll talk to him in just a few minutes. We'll talk to him before we get the 9 o'clock hour. And, of course, we got Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, and he's going to be on fire today with things. And, everybody's trying to figure out if you got rookies. And we're watching the Giants running back and their quarterback just add an incredible amount of passion and emotion. Remember a couple weeks ago, they're like, well, should Russell Wilson still be starting? It's not fair to the quarterback because he's not ready. He hasn't been there long enough. They're going to chew him up. He gets his second win. Runs when he has to, which obviously also helps a lot when you're not real sure of coverages yet, which he's not and been around enough, but he's been good enough throwing the ball. Got a running game going. He's a big part of it. And he's got this guy at running back that is just, he acts like he's been in the league for 5 or 6 years, man. Just incredible passion and talent from their first and fourth picks in the draft.
Yeah, they turned it around before the Dolphins. That stings.
Well,
and I don't know how good that guy's going to be, but at the very least, he acts the part.
Hey, man, it was a big upset last night. There's not one person out there going to tell me, even with A.J. Brown trying to destroy the team. 34-17.
Hey, man, what's up with all the good teams this year? The Eagles seem a little messy. We know our teams in the AFC. The Chiefs are against the ropes here.
Yeah,
the Ravens might have been knocked out already.
By the way, the Ravens schedule,
not good.
And the Kansas City schedule, they don't let up. This is what you get for being really good last year.
I don't think KC's going to beat Detroit. Do you?
I think it's going to be a good game, but no, I wouldn't bet against Detroit.
It's the way KC's playing, and Eagles, where these banged up.
The Eagles just don't look like the same team. And by the way, start on the line of scrimmage. They just don't look the same.
Well, they look like they're going through the motions, right? They look like a team that just won, and they're kind of going through the motions.
My other take on this is, we'll do this with Mike Florio a little bit later on. The A.J. Brown stuff. I called this. I called it weeks ago. They were winning, but he was like, and I'm not saying he's jumping up and down and screaming and yelling and pouting and stuff, but he got his money, but he's not getting his production. He wants it. He had a better game, but, they get their ass kicked by 17. They've gotten away from what they did a year ago where they just ran. They're not as good running the ball either. I mean, the numbers are so far off on Saquon from what they were a year ago. It's not even close. But, yeah, it's been a crazy year in the NFL. It really has. Some of it is, and I got to tell you, I know nobody wants to hear this, but when you play really well and you're one of the best teams, you play a tougher schedule. This is just what they do. They want to see the best matchups for Monday nights and Sunday nights, and then on top of that, the draft and free agency and freeing up money, it changes things. That's what, by the way, it's one of the great things I think the league does is try to give, if you've been really bad, they want you to help you by a higher draft, the crappier team you have. And then if you have free agent, a lot of money, look what New England's done with their money. They look like a different team than a year ago.
I just watched that game last night. I watched that quarterback, and it gets you excited, right? Because something like that hopefully will be coming soon.
Yes. Boy, you sure hope
right? Someone with a little bit of, a little moxie, whatever you want to call it, right?
Why don't we talk about a team that's got it figured out? Paul Maurice and the Florida Panthers. He's going to join us in just a few minutes here. We'll talk to the coach. Hey, man, wherever you're headed in South Florida, if you need a truck, I want to let you know South Florida Chevy dealers got some great deals going on trucks We got locations really close to you this weekend to go out and check out the durable Colorado with a standard turbo max engine and impressive torque. Maybe over to Silverado 1500, always ready, steady, and strong. Really delivering all the power and advanced technology you need for workday workhorse and a weekend warrior. We got you, man. And the Silverado HD, you'll feel so confident with its legendary horsepower and one of the hardest working beds in the business. We got a truck that's absolutely perfect for your lifestyle right now. If it's a full-time working truck, and by the way, not 5 days a week, but 6 and 7 days a week, and it never stops because this is how you make a living, well, listen, we got a truck that's absolutely perfect for you. Midsize, full-size, and heavy-duty trucks, Chevy will never let you down. See your South Florida Chevy dealers this weekend for outstanding offers that are going on right now.
It's time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood Hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com.
Thank you, Woody. And off to a fast start once again, Florida Panthers. And we're joined this morning. Always great having him. Paul Maurice, Florida Panthers head coach. Coach, thank you so much, man, for finding some time before you play this last game and hit the road. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I got to tell you, I've never had the celebration. We came up short a few times in the old days, but you have the ring ceremony the night before. Guys are dressed up, and I'm going, oh boy, they got a game tomorrow. Then the guys do the nice banner being lifted, and up in the arena, and I'm like, boy, I always wonder that first game, the focus and the energy. You guys came out like it was a playoff game. I was shocked of everything that's happened so far, the energy you guys played with in that game.
You know what? You would think so, right? All the things kind of stack up against you, but we had the exact same thing happen last year when we did it. Training camp's hard, right? Good. We had a really good summer. I think our fitness levels were really good. Training camp's hard, but what's great about the ring ceremony and the banner raising, it's your first reminder. Like, we don't really talk about it much here. But winning the cup and the training camp, we got work to do. Everybody works hard, but the night before they do a really nice job, and it is a great memory. And I think it fires them up. You worry about them coming out flat because they're distracted with those things, but it's a wonderful distraction, and I think it brings a lot of energy. The crowd loves it, so we get a good building, lots of buzz, and we played very well.
It's real simple, man. I've been saying, we watch. Hey, we sit here on the radio and we talk about all our teams and the chemistry and the culture, which I get a little burned out on all the culture talk that everybody wants to talk about, and front office and coaching and players. And you guys obviously right now are the standard for all those things. But you know what? In the opener, I just said, man, they play hard. They believe in that system. And it looks right now just like it did. Some of the names are different, like it did last year when you guys are playing well. Do you feel that way?
I feel we're further ahead than we were last year at this time in terms of that structure with players out. So it's going to look a little different in maybe the result, and we probably won't score quite as much. You get two 80 to 100 point guys out of your lineup, and then Sasha Barkov, who's a Selke Award winner. But when look at it by effect, it shouldn't look any different in how we're playing. We may not finish as much. There'll be some plays that don't get completed, but structurally and from a work ethic point of view, there should be no difference in our team. And I think we're seeing that. The first two games were a little bit light in terms of physicality. That's what you get when we got a Western Conference team and then an out-of-division team. I think that ramps up tomorrow. We'll get a playoff team in real fast, real physical. So that'll look – the playoff style game will have to be there for us tomorrow.
The first line, Verhaeghe, Bennett, and Marchand. Looks pretty good. Are you pretty happy with it so far? I know that more they play together, the better it'll get.
Yeah, they look like they almost do when Matthew Tkachuk's playing because Brad Marchand's got the same kind of hand skills. He can create an awful lot. Get a puck to the net, obviously, in the game winner yesterday. He's really gifted in that department. They had Carter Verhaeghe as +9 in the plus-minus chances for and against in game one, which is a huge number. So it's there for them. We'll just make sure they don't get frustrated. They had some really good looks in the first game that didn't go for them. So as long as they can kind of stay with that style and not try to open their game up to create more, we got a really good line there.
I got to ask you about a guy that's getting a lot of playing time here, former first-round pick in Cam Skattebo. Did you give him the green light to fire when necessary?
So you know what I'm going to give a little credit to is Evan Rodriguez here. And first of all, he loves playing with both those guys, Boquist and Samoskevich. Yeah. And he's such a great veteran leader on that line, and he empowers those guys. He wants that puck on his stick, and he wants it off his stick. So what's interesting, they're not the three biggest guys on our team. They play on speed and skill, but there's an intensity to their game and a quickness. They're a big part of what you would call, I guess, our second power play unit that scored both our power play goals because they got a great pace to their game. Samo can play that game. He can play that. He can quick into holes, get the puck on and off his stick. He's got a great shot. We believe it's just a matter of time before the pucks start going in. just a timing thing and an experience thing as he spends more time in the league. But we really like what that line can do. We haven't had them matched up against the line yet that we didn't like, so they've been really strong for us.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, just often running 2-0, and as you said, Ottawa tomorrow before hitting the road. I got to ask you this, Coach. I can't let this go. It's a hot topic before the season started. In that last preseason game, Tampa Bay obviously brought up some guys that have no shot of playing on a big squad, and they were some tough guys, and it just got out of friggin' control. And John Cooper, I don't know what your relationship is. Do you just let that go? Do you talk? I know people are saying, hey, there's no way the Panthers, you guys are about winning. But what was that all about? I'm just curious what your thoughts were.
Yeah. I can tell you about our team. I know that in all situations, and we've had versions of that before, and it's usually a team that we played in consecutive playoff years, right?
Gotcha.
There's a lot of physicality, and there's a lot of kind of anger that comes up for the losing team. But the question is, like, how do you get to use that? How do you get to play through that?
Right.
And we've just been through it before. It's just not that big a deal to our team. I mean, we had Boston come in first game after we had beaten them twice, and it was nasty and it was on. It was
Good
actually
point.
more physical. So it's part of you get playoff success. All the great rivalries are built in playoffs. So we have one with Toronto, we've got one with Boston, we certainly have one with Tampa, and we have one with Carolina. Those are all the teams that we've played twice. They are going to be the most intense games. They're most fair. These are both, proud guys on both sides. Everybody hates losing. So we will see that with the teams that we've and you see it maybe more in exhibition because there's not the same kind of cost.
Right.
You can cross the line a little easier and it doesn't affect you as much. So we learn how to handle those things. It really wasn't that big a deal. And after the game, there was kind of lots of laughing and joking about it. And we'll move on.
Oh, that's great. You know what? That's fantastic. Listen, you guys have dominated last 3 years, all the teams in the East. And I can see it like you guys, all right, we get what this is about, and we're not going to get caught up in this. We got a bigger goal, but we understand what they're all trying to do and setting up these games. The rivalry really has become, I know we talk about Boston and even Toronto a little bit. You mentioned Carolina, but for me, that Tampa Bay, because they've had some really good teams, Coach, and you've knocked them out early in the playoffs. Maybe if they're not playing you, maybe they're going deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, we think they are close to being the best team in the East right now if they're healthy and lots of skill. Those kind of games, those physical games, that maybe it's kind of how we play. So it's not like we're a light skilled team that's the other teams decided they're going to try to intimidate or run out of the building. It's just the intensity of former playoff series.
Yeah. I get asked this because you got to make cuts, and you obviously had a lot of guys that played really well in the preseason, even when some of the other teams are playing veterans. Your guys haven't played, look really good, which means we look a little deep. Do you like some of the players in the future that you had to give the bad news to, that had to start the season somewhere else?
We felt there were a couple of guys up front, maybe one or two on the blue line, that their camp said they could have stayed. And you know how it works, and I can't explain it because I don't fully understand it. Because of the Barkov injury and some of the cap situation that we would have, we actually had to send Samo down for a day to get to where we needed to get to and brought him back up. So we had to, some of it's based on the contracts the players have and how it all fits in. But we had some really good camps by some of those guys on the edge. And that's important because the longer you go in these playoff runs, the more you can expect that you're going to have injuries the next year, and you're really going to have to rely on that depth.
You just said something that's really interesting. I always wonder, because you work closely with the GM, who does have to understand the money, and another money guy, I'm sure, in there. You don't, you stay out of that completely, number one, and number two, are you aware of how the cap works? I'm not.
No, I have an idea about it, and it's like anything else. Like those guys are experts at it. That's all they do. So between Bill Zito and Braden Birch, who does a lot of our cap work here, that's what Braden does every day, all day. So he's the expert. So
right.
There's really not there's not a point in me getting involved in that. I understand. And in some ways, as the coach here, you're certainly you get a great benefit because we spend right to the cap every year, and you understand that there might be some games where you got to play with shorter guy, 19 guys to make it work. So I have no problem with that because the reason that the driver of it is Bill Zito and his staff is trying to put the best players on the ice every night.
Hey, before I let you run, I'm just curious. I got a zillion things to talk about, your 71 shots the first 2 games and all that stuff, but I wanted to ask you, just the crowd, have you noticed the more winning you're doing, the more jacked up and packed the arena
It is awesome. It is, you know what? And I understand it, but when we first got here, a game like last night would have felt half Philadelphia. And like we would get Boston in here and some of these teams, and it would feel like you were playing a road game. And now it's just not the case. I mean, we got great fans. They're loud. They're into the game. I think they know their players. I think that's what we've had some continuity here, so that they can attach themselves to a guy, one of their favorite players, and they've seen Carter Verhaeghe play here for a while, and Sam Reinhart, whoever it is. There's a connection now between our fans because we've had some, we've had some great success. So they've been a part of that. They've been to Game 6 and Game 7 and saw the cup come out, and so they get to see all these guys. We haven't had a huge amount of turnover, but there's just not very many road jerseys in the stands anymore. It's all Panthers.
What? Amazing! It's amazing what winning does. Right. Hey, before I let you go, I can't forget about Big Bob, man. He's not getting a whole lot of work, though, with the defense in front of him. But, boy, I'll tell you what, he had himself ready to go for this season.
Yeah. Well, he really did. He is absolutely the right guy to play behind that defense because it's harder than people think. They'll look at the shot total and say, not a lot of shots, not a lot of work. But because we play so aggressively, every once in a while something breaks loose, and it's a high-end chance. There's not too many of it. And then he'll go 6 or 7 minutes without any action, and that is way harder than I think anybody understands. Sometimes the nights where the other team comes in and they put up 40 on you, that's an easy night for the tender because you're in a rhythm and you just stay in it. But he has long stretches of time in the first 2, and going back to last year. So what he's done is he's developed the skill set to handle it, to be able to sit for 5 or 6 minutes, not have any action, and then boom, you get a 2-on-1 or a partial break. So that's why his veteranness is so important to our team. It's an unusual game that he has to mentally fight through.
Yeah, man. So many guys. Again, it's just amazing. Great start. Hey, Coach, thank you so much for finding some time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime for you.
All right. Appreciate it. Paul Maurice, Florida Panthers head coach. Play hard, play the system. It's incredible. And they all buy in, man. Not only do they all buy in, and now everybody in the league wants to be here. By the way, great point, Woody. Guys they know who the players are every year, man. The core guys never changes. Been able to keep all those guys, man, is good for business. Hey, I'll tell you who else good for business. Michael Kotze at Choice Market. Speaking of a guy that loves hockey, got a couple of sons still playing. Hey, man, I want to talk about Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage for just a second, though. I want to talk about the guy that's going to get you a mortgage quickly. I want to talk about the rates, fixed rates in the 5s right now, whether it's self-employed and been declined by the banks. It doesn't really matter. I want to let you know he's got a great program for you. First-time home buyer programs ready to go. Now that if you've been declined by the banks, process is taking too long. Don't worry. Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage get it done half the time of the banks. And I just want, everybody know debt consolidation. If you need that money, man. Let Michael Kotze help you get that second mortgage and get going. This is what he does and does with the best rates and getting all the paperwork done ahead of time. Even on the weekend, this guy's working. 30 years of experience. So if you're looking for somebody to get going on what you're looking for right now to get that mortgage, the man has no life. He truly does work 7 days a week. Call or text him, 561-441-2730. Check out Google reviews on the web. Choice Mortgage Reviews saying a lot of nice things about him. 1-561-441-2730 or MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change. Daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. Starting with the Panthers, who are 2-0 to start the season after beating Philly 2-1. Next up, the Cats will host Ottawa tomorrow night. In the NFL, Week 6 began with the Giants upsetting the Eagles 34-17. Week 6 continues on Sunday with the Dolphins hosting the Chargers. And in baseball, the Dodgers advanced to the ALCS, beating the Phillies 2-1 in 11 innings. And the Cubs forced to Game 5 with the Brewers with a 6-0 win. The Joe Rose Show continues now.
A little taste of some of these big guys coming out hitting them. Like, all right, you think you're going to run around our guy? How about if you get a little taste of Landon Dickerson coming right down your throat?
The throw to Ayuk inside, touchdown. Samuel leading the way. Ayuk comes inside of him.
All right, welcome back here for the 9 o'clock hour. My favorite hour of the week, to be honest. This is the last hour of the weekend. Next time I'll be seeing everybody is at the stadium. But at Hard Rock Stadium, that is, between the Miami Dolphins and the Chargers. All right, Woody, what do you have for me
My
today?
favorite time of the week when we get these picks in here, this music hits.
I had a bad week.
You were 3-5 last week.
Oh, not good.
You are 34-28 on the season. That is where you stand at the moment.
That's not gonna do it though. It's not gonna make the playoffs. That's wild card, losing in the first round stuff.
All right, let's start college football here. Let's get a few picks from the college game here. We got a huge one tonight. Number 24, South Florida, heading to somewhere in Texas to play North Texas. It is a pick'em game at the moment.
I got to go with your school.
Bulls?
Guys have been good on the road till you play Miami, but good stuff.
Oh, yeah, Miami's better than they are. But anyway, we got Ohio State and Illinois, the big noon game. Number 1, Ohio State. They are going to Champaign to play this game. Ohio State is favored by 14.5 points.
Oh, that's a lot. I figured something had to come with that because that was going to be an easy one. 14.5.
Illinois is 5-1. I think they lost by 100 to Indiana.
Yeah, I'm gonna go big Ohio State.
Another nooner here. We got Alabama and Mizzou. Bama favored by 2.5. The game's in Missouri.
Bama's playing better. I'm gonna go with Bama.
Number 25, Florida State hosting Pitt. FSU favored by 10.5 points.
10.5.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Pitt.
Number 3, Oregon hosting number 7, Indiana at 3:30. The Ducks favored by 7.5.
Oh, I'm a big, as you know, I talk about him a lot. I'm a big fan of Mendoza, Fernando Mendoza, but I got to go Oregon big. I think this is going to be a little statement game for Oregon.
All right, this is one of those spreads where you know something's a little fishy here.
What do you got?
Texas and Oklahoma, 3:30. It's at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess that's technically neutral.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, yeah.
In Dallas, Texas is favored by 1.5 points.
Well, that tells
Oklahoma's 5-0. They're number 6 in the country.
I know one thing. Isn't the quarterback for Oklahoma? Isn't he back?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm going to go Oklahoma.
Yeah, that spread right there. Man, they are just absolutely.
I'm with everybody else.
They are
I just
begging you to take Oklahoma.
I know we just talk about Manning, but I just don't know if Tech's very good.
I think Texas stinks.
Their talent and having those great recruiting classes, something got really overrated.
So you're going Oklahoma.
Going Oklahoma.
Yeah, that spread, though, is just.
Got to go with the Okies, man, sometimes.
Absolutely begging you to take the 6th-ranked team in the country as dogs in that game. Kind of strange. All right, and one more here. We got number 5, Texas A&M. They're going to host Florida. Aggies favored by 7.5.
Yeah, I got to go Texas A&M.
All right. Off to the NFL we go here.
Not too many now, Woody.
They've taken another one of our games and brought it to London. At least they get the Jets, though. Jets and Broncos, 9:30 a.m. Denver favored by 6.5.
Oh, Broncos. Big with that defense.
All right. Pats and Saints in New Orleans. New England is only favored by 3.5 points here.
I like the Patriots, man. Beat us. Got some good wins on the road. They can go anywhere.
All right.
Especially beating the Bills. My God.
Good game from Jacksonville. Jags and Seahawks. Seattle is favored by 1.5 in Jacksonville.
I'm going to go with Jags.
All right. Ravens and Rams from Baltimore. Rams favored by 7.5 points.
Yeah, Rams big.
Lamar's
still out one more week, right?
Yeah, at least. This is a good one here. 49ers traveling to Tampa, take on the Bucs. Both of these teams are 4-1. Tampa Bay favored by 3.5 points.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I'm still not drinking the 49er Kool-Aid with all these injuries, and they keep winning.
All right.
They keep winning.
Chiefs and Lions from Arrowhead, Sunday night. Lions are 4-1. Chiefs are 2-3. KC is favored by 2.5 points.
I'm going to go Lions.
All right. And then 1 o'clock, Sunday, Hard Rock Stadium. Dolphins 1-4. Chargers 3-2. Chargers are favored by 3.5 points.
I know it's a tight ball game.
That, by the way, you talk about weird spreads. That's a weird spread.
Oh,
They're begging you to take the Chargers, aren't they?
This is the last time. I swear to God, this could be the last
time. Don't
do
it. Dolphins.
I'm going to take the Dolphins one more time. They're just listen. Nobody could be more beaten up on the offensive line than the Chargers. You got to, and usually Herbert should be running for his life. Take the Dolphins, and this will be the last time.
Money line, or you want the points?
No, give me the.
You want the points?
Hell yeah, take 3. In case it's a 3-point game, which it could be. I got a 0.5 point to play with there, Dougie.
All right.
You said 3.5, right?
Yep, 3.5.
All right,
you got the field goal to work with.
There you go.
Cushion.
There you go.
And you're not going to do the double or nothing I offered you earlier with catch and cut.
How many more people do you get to bring?
Give me 3 guests.
No,
Group of 4.
Hell
So
no.
party of 4 plus you. You don't have to come. I mean, you just,
I know.
Send
you
me
just
and my
pick
friends
it up.
if you want. I'll send you.
No.
Send you the bill.
I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna do this. No.
All right. So you're not that confident.
No.
You've been
bad enough.
You have been burnt by that team.
I know
more than anyone I know.
Team.
You always pick them to win. You always find some positive spin to put
I didn't
on
do it against Buffalo.
That's true. In fairness, yeah.
All right. We got
the worst one you ever hit me with was last year when Skyler was starting. They were playing Seattle, and you go, he's gonna light.
You don't
them
let
up.
anything go. Are you?
Yeah, because I lost money on that. Because I listened to you.
I didn't know Skyler was gonna be that bad.
How's he doing, by the way? Didn't he
Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you're gonna lose. If Skyler's in, you're gonna lose. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk is gonna join us when we come back. Don't go away.
I'm Jonah Gadjevich of the Florida Panthers.
It is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com.
All right, Woody, thank you so much. Time to bring in Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. And part of what makes the National Football League so great is last night a lot of people turned on that game and said, oh, my God, the Giants are going to get crushed. And all they do is go out and win by 3 scores and really let the Eagles have it. Boy, I tell you what'd you think about last night? And is the A.J. Brown pouting and comments starting to affect this team, or do they have bigger problems?
Well, Joe, let's broaden the lens a little bit, too. It's now 4 straight primetime games that have resulted in upsets, and 4 Super Bowl contenders have lost. Rams, wow. Bills, Chiefs, and now the Eagles. So we've had some entertaining, big platform standalone games lately. And it just makes you wonder, where are the great teams? I think it's the Lions, and everybody else is still trying to figure it out. And the Eagles are now in that category firmly of team that's trying to figure it out. If you're an Eagles fan, this was the worst possible week. Setting aside what happened to the Phillies, you woke up Sunday morning, your team was 4-0. Your team had stolen from the Chiefs the find a way to win, no matter the circumstances vibe. Now they're 4-2. And they lost to a team that had lost 8 straight games in the division. That was the second longest streak in franchise history for the Giants and the longest active streak in the NFL for futility in the same division. Brian Daboll was something like 5-16-1 in the division. So that was a huge, huge win for the Giants. And, you know, the A.J. Brown thing, because I think the spark for the current dysfunction was the tweet that he sent after the win over the Buccaneers, and then the aftermath of that with the Eagles circling the wagons and trying to act like everything's fine. They spend so much time trying to create the impression to the outside that everything's fine. I don't think they spend enough time trying to fix whatever's wrong.
Right.
And I thought they were getting back to what they needed to do. Coach Dungy was on with me yesterday, and he said, this is very simple. Our goal is to win football games. You know, when Dungy was the coach of the Colts, they had a bunch of great players on offense, and you never heard about any friction. One of the reasons was Peyton Manning would put his foot up your butt if you complained. and I think the Eagles don't have that in Jalen Hurts, and that's fine. Everybody leads differently. But A.J. Brown's frustrations bubbled over. There were some shots last night of him sitting on the bench with Devontae Smith, and, man, I would have loved to have been able to hear what they were saying to each other, because they had the demeanor of 2 guys who are like, let's get the hell out of here. So the whole thing is a mess now. But I think that A.J. Brown's actions are a symptom, not the disease. And I don't know what the disease is. Think about it this way, Joe. Nick Sirianni's an offensive coach. Why is it that every time they change offensive coordinators, everything changes? What happened to the guy who got the job as an offensive coordinator being the guy in charge of the offense? The coordinator shouldn't matter. Every year they have a different coordinator, and either it's a guy who's good enough that they lose him after a year because he becomes a head coach, or it's the guy who's bad enough that they fire him after 1 year. And Kevin Patullo is on track to be fired after 1 year.
Yeah, this it's amazing. By the way, the other side of this, how good the 2 rookies were. Skattebo last night and Dart with the passion. What a great time to flip the quarterback and go with the rookie. His energy along with that running back. Mike, we haven't seen anything like that from 2 guys that come into a place like New York and just at it. Boy, you can just sense the whole team, even all those veterans, feed off those guys.
Last night was one of those nights where you go back to the 2025 draft and you start looking at where guys were taken and who was taken before them. Dart lasted until late in round 1. Cam Skattebo was picked number 105.
Oh.
So those guys were there. Pretty much everyone had a shot at Dart. Everyone had multiple shots at Cam Skattebo. And, you know, there's just something for a team that hasn't done anything. 2 playoff appearances, 1 and out. Well, not 1 and out. They did beat the Vikings in 2022. It felt like 1 and out because they got blown off the field by the Eagles in Philadelphia in the divisional round that year. But futility for the most part for the Giants since beating the Patriots in Super Bowl 46. To have a new vibe with new players that you can build around, to have a guy in Jackson Dart, it kind of reminds me of 2018 when we all realized, hey, Josh Allen can run the ball. we were so focused on completion percentage and is it the receiver's fault at Wyoming? Is it because he played at altitude and weather or whatever? This guy can run.
Yes, he
Jackson
can.
Dart, this guy can run. Now he's got to be a little careful. He can't go launching himself head first like Andre Waters when he's trying to get a first down. But they got something now, and they're 2-4. But there's a lot of football still to be played. There's going to be I thought it was handful of great teams, handful of awful teams, everybody else in the middle, and we'll see who breaks in the direction of good as we get deeper into the season. That swath in the middle is getting bigger and bigger. I mean, it's basically Lions, everybody else, Titans, and Jets. I left the Dolphins out just, I want everybody to have a good morning, but you can put the Dolphins down there too. But there's a wide swath in the middle of teams that could break one way or the other.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, all right, so the Dolphins, you can imagine it's been another rough week after the Panthers, after being up 17-0 against the Panthers and having a backup running back run like he's player of the week. He was that good. So now you play the Chargers, and they got like more injuries on their offensive line, Mike, than anybody. The backups are injured. They got 4 or 5 guys besides their starting first-round pick offensive tackles. If there is a week to ever get healthy, you feel any better about the Dolphins' chances because of the injuries and the D-line and the front 7 for the Miami Dolphins should be able to stop part of their running game?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that this is a great opportunity for the Dolphins. They're at home. I don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. I assume hot would be Sunday.
Yes.
And the Chargers will be in although I'm assuming they're going to pack the powder blues, not the dark blues, to show up for Miami to play that game. But the Chargers are a different team without Joe Alt. We saw it against the Giants. We saw it last week against Washington. Now, they were in a position to take control of that game, and they didn't, and Washington seized it. But they can't run the ball like they were.
Nope.
If they had healthy offensive line and either Omarion Hampton or Najee Harris, they would just run the ball 50 times. It would look like Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, where they just ran and ran and ran. Remember that Penn State game? Just run it. They'd run all over the Dolphins. So it gives the Dolphins an opening. And I actually think the Dolphins will cover the spread. I think it's too much to expect the Dolphins to win because the Chargers are kind of inching toward desperation. But one thing I've learned the past couple of weeks from the Ravens, from the Eagles, desperation doesn't mean anything.
No.
If you've got flaws, no amount of desperation is going to cover those flaws up.
Right. Doesn't matter what kind of pep talk you're giving or players-only meetings and all the other things that we talk so much about. I got to ask you, we had a weird one going back to the head coach for the Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, going after a player who, by the way, I get that he was upset. I know everybody had a little different take on the way everything. He apologized. He obviously got fined a lot of money. The head coach did. What was your take on? I am always shocked when a guy slows down and then drops the ball before he gets to the end zone. We've had it happen twice this year.
It's always inexcusable. And it was beyond inexcusable for it to happen 1 week after A.D. Mitchell of the Colts did the same thing, because that's the thing that leads the players meeting with the coach, the first one that occurs after the week 4 games. And Devin McCourty, he was hilarious the way he shared the manner in which Bill Belichick would have played that, the things Bill Belichick would have said. He glossed over the profanity, but every coach had an obligation following the Colts play to underscore in no uncertain terms the importance of securing the ball through the back of the end zone.
Right.
And at a minimum through the front of the end zone. So that was one of those moments. And it's not like the guy did it on purpose. It wasn't sabotage.
No.
It was just foolishness. And that cost him the game. After the game, Jonathan Gannon, the coach of the Cardinals, said, it's never about one play. Oh, yes, it is. When you would have been up 28-6 with 12 minutes left against the worst team in football, yes, it is about one play, because that opened the door for the Titans to go the other way, score a touchdown. They had that weird play with the interception and the ball's out and it gets kicked into the end zone by the Cardinals, and the Titans recovered for a touchdown. The next thing you know, they win the game. So it was about one play. But for Gannon, look, hey, Joe, I'm sure that you played football at a time when coaches were laying hands and or feet on players.
That's correct.
I've had flashbacks to 50 years ago. When I played grade school football at a Catholic school in Wheeling, West Virginia, if you were standing around, you got a foot in your ass, literally, from the coach. and I still think about that. And it's one of the reasons why I've got this illness where I never stop. I mean, I guess it's like the best kind of PTSD you can have, because it's pushed me toward having a moderate degree of success in my life. But I still think of it 50 years later. You can't lay hands on players. And the angle that we saw wasn't ideal, because it was the back of DeMarcado and the teammate that was consoling him. But you could see from the movement of the bodies that Gannon made contact with him at least twice from the front, and then hit his arm as he was walking away. And, you know, we could have had a Latrell Sprewell incident, because there's certain guys you mess with like that.
Going back
give it back to you 10 times worse. But I think it was the right outcome. $100,000 fine imposed by the team. If the team hadn't done it, the league would have done something. Something needed to be done. There's a line you can't cross. I know it's a physical sport that's premised on contact, but there's a point where the contact ends, and it ends when you cross the white line.
Right.
That's when the switch is off. And the guys who aren't playing in the game are the last ones that should be initiating contact.
So Don Shula never laid a hand. He was one of the toughest mofos when the guy drafted me. And Mike, I got to tell you, I still think, and I say this all the time with the Dolphin teams, have a team meeting, turn on the projector, and show it over and over again in front of all the guys on the team. Like, we can't do this. Whatever. Sarcasm, don't say a word, just run it back and forth. It was the most humiliating thing to have a drop in a crucial situation or whiff on a block and have the coach in a team meeting with all the players that I played with see it. It was humiliating. It was the worst. It was like, I'd rather got hit. I'd rather got spanked by my father with my pants down, I swear, than go through something like that. That's all I could think of. But
hey, you know what Tony Dungy said on the issue? He said, and he put it in very simple terms, because obviously you're not going to see Tony Dungy lay hands on a player. But you know what he would have done? He would have cut him. He would have gone to him and he said, you knew what your job was. You failed to do it. You can no longer be part of this team.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say back to that, if you're too good a player and too important to the team, or we owe you too much money, that's just not going to happen.
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's the old Jimmy Johnson line about the guy
that's right.
for falling asleep during a meeting. What do you do if Troy Aikman falls asleep? I give him a pillow.
Make sure Michael Irvin, like Mike, you can go in now.
With double standards.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with double standards, because certain guys think they can get away with it. Now, I don't know where DeMarcado falls, but with Trey Benson hurt and James Conner out for the year, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face if you cut Emari DeMarcado.
Yeah, no question. By the way, all the teams, all the running backs going down. Anyway, hey, I got to ask you about this. And this Belichick thing, first of all, because we still have people thinking Belichick's going to be the next coach down here, and there is no shot of that ever happening the way Don Shula felt about Bill Belichick. There is nobody in the organization that'd be foolish enough to bring him, but I do believe he's a one and done. And I didn't believe it before, but now that I find out he took a little trip on the bye week with Jordan Hudson to get away, and I'm like, nobody does that in college football. You're recruiting, you're making sure your team's you don't lose your team. You're working on things. You're calling parents, and Bill's just out doing his own thing, chasing that making sure the little guy still works and chasing that 24-year-old around, Mike.
Well, you know, Belichick's an interesting case study, because the success in New England eventually created a degree of arrogance that became hubris, that became delusion. And somebody was telling me the other day, because this whole thing he has with the Patriots now, like, why wasn't it there when they fired him?
Yeah.
You know, the joint press conference with Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, and he's in a suit and he's smiling the best that Bill Belichick can ever smile. Well, he thought he was going to land somewhere else as an NFL head coach.
He did.
He thought he was going to end up with a better team than the New England Patriots were as he was being ushered out the door in New England. And it's all kind of blown up in his face, and he's got no one around him to speak hard truths. He's got no one around him to tell him, you probably shouldn't do that. You know, you probably shouldn't do that interview with that shirt with the hole in the neck. Maybe we should be aiming a little higher in our recruits. So I think the most telling thing that I saw this week, and there were some incredible reports out there about the dysfunction within the program, but I think it was Bruce Feldman who had a report with an unnamed coach from one of the group of 5 conferences, Sun Belt, et cetera, the cut below the Power 4. And he said, during recruiting in the portal, we kept finding ourselves pitted against North Carolina for the same guys. And anytime I've got one of these Power 4 schools and we're trying to get the same guys, I say, man, that team's going to suck. And that's the bottom line at the college level. If your players aren't good enough, you could be the greatest coach of all time.
That's true.
And if your players aren't good enough, it does not matter. Great game plan. We don't have the players to execute it. Great adjustments. We don't have the players to execute them. That's the problem.
Hey, and I just leave you with this. Michael Lombardi looks like a complete ass clown. Seriously, I know part of his job is that he has just lost everything in the name of Bill Belichick. Whatever credibility he had, in my opinion, it's terrible.
Well, and hey, look, and I want to choose my words somewhat carefully. You know people around the league. You know what people around the league think of Lombardi. What's he ever really done? What's he ever done? And what does he ever do other than quote other people? Like, all the guy does is find quotes and repeat them. Has he ever had an original thought in his life? And he quotes Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh despised him.
I think you're going to say he learned from Al Davis.
Parcells hates him. Parcells like, what's this guy gets? I don't quote me. So and they had this great plan. And the new plan is they're going to recruit upwards of 40 freshmen. Good luck getting those guys to sign after what you're doing this year. And you brought in 70 new guys this year.
Right.
So you can't build a program for, with guys you bring in as freshmen and keep them for 4 or 5 years, because the best ones are going to go somewhere else and make more money.
Said it this morning. Same thing. The best players are out of there. They're going to build it up, and they are gone for more money going somewhere else.
And good luck keeping anybody. You think anybody there who is remotely talented, assuming they have anyone, do you think that guy's going to be back next year, or do you think he's going to get the hell out of here?
Get the hell out of there, man, in a heartbeat.
I don't know if he's going to make it through the end of the season. There was a point this week where I thought it was going to end before their next game, Friday the 17th at Cal. It looks like it's settled down, but I feel like there's a lot of posturing now as to how much money is going to change hands when he goes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of the game right now. How much of the buyout does he get? Would he be in a position? There was a report the other day that maybe he'd write the $1 million check to walk away. I can't imagine him doing that when they owe him $20 million and they're going to want him gone. Even worse than he's going to want to be gone. It just feels like the planes are lining up for their final approach to the runway. And it can change if they would go out there and win at Cal, but they're 13.5-point underdogs.
Yeah.
So they just got to win a game. And if this continues, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Regardless of beyond this year, it's not sustainable through the end of this year.
I agree. I can't wait for all the stories going to come out after that little experience. Boy, that's going to be unbelievable. Mike, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks.
See you, Joe.
All right, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. Hey, don't go away. Don't go away. Kim Bokamper's coming up next.
Sports